anyone who's just finished last time's one, it took 2 weeks once all the buffering had finished in order that you caught up with us. And we had some fantastic sayings during that, didn't we? We had things like, it was buffering so much, the cable colours were red and black. And we'll come to that because I think they're familiar colours to us still in India. And it's Krish Theobald that's joining us today for our Indian theme. It's gone so long with the buffering. I'm actually now an apprentice. And all those other sayings were fantastic last time. And if we open up the shop, you can see how much more is going on here at Lineside Studio. You're over there, Gordon. What are you up to?
Well, we're just making sure the tech works, Gary, because obviously we had a bit of a meltdown last week. We did have our suspicions it was BT because they had the old cover up in the street and they were messing around with the wires. And ever since that, we had problems with the buffering, and it peaked on Saturday. I put my teeth in when I got a call at 2:30 in the morning that there was an IT failure on our security system, which was very good to know. I'd phoned Rick first, he ignored it, so then it rang me, and I rang them back just as well, because if it hadn't done that, it would have rang you next.
Oh, right, okay, that would have been a pretty good long journey up to sort out the internet. So that shows you how many problems we've had. So hopefully that won't be our problem, but we've tried lots of other different things. So we've given a chance for us to create a problem somewhere else on the live stream. But thank you very much for joining us. Obviously, it's an Indian theme, and he's over again. He's done the challenge wall before when you fitted your first ever BS1363 socket outlet.
Double socket outlet.
Ooh, double, so you must have fitted a single one before. And you've brought some items from India to show us, as well as some photographs where it links quite nicely into our previous theme that was on the buffered episode, where we talked about safe isolation. Now, you've asked for about 30 safe isolation kits off us. I've looked at the photographs before we started this live stream. I think turning off the power and making it safe is least of your worries when you look at what it looks like before you de-energise the circuit. So make sure you stay tuned to see what those pictures are like with our Indian wiring system. Let's circle back into that safe isolation for September as well. Remember, on Instagram, we're asking you to show your certificate from your safe isolation. That could have been one that you'd done many months ago, and you want to show a photograph of it, and you have to do it on your actual news feed and not story. So on your news feed, you share it, you have to hashtag in Safe for September and tag in eFIXX as well as TIS, Test Instrument Solutions as well, in order that you can win one of these 10 voltage indicators. We will be giving away 100 safe isolation kits from people that have completed it, and you don't have to do anything to be into the draw for 100. And later on in the live stream, I will shout out some of the fantastic colleges that have been taking part and tell you when our next live stream is going to be, and it's going to be a lot sooner than you think. Okay. So we've just got a comment up on the board there. They're playing around with the IT systems over here in order that we can obviously, hopefully bring a stream to you this evening.
Can you read that, Gary?
Can I read it? Well, the thing's in, yeah. Cross your fingers, no buffering.
Yeah, there you go.
We've put that one in. Okay, I can see eFIXX as well. So we can see some comments on the board as well that you can't see as well. So, Krish, let's start by introducing you again. So you're over here doing another one of our wonderful courses. What are you up to?
The 2396 design course.
Okay, so that's quite a challenging course for people that are familiar with the wiring systems in this country. What's the course like for somebody who's had to fly many hours in a plane to get here?
It's very intense because unlike a lot of other courses, you're sitting on a desk for 7 hours a day discussing the regs, trying to poke holes in your knowledge so you know exactly everything. So if they ask you a question about something in maybe in section 5, you might have to look in section 1 for the answer.
Right, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, so that links in nicely to why you're here. You're here to obviously take another one of our qualifications, 2391 last time, and now we're into the design element. It's nice, isn't it, that we haven't got, I feel, I don't want to say naked. Nobody wants to hear me and naked in the same sentence. But I feel like something's missing because I'm not controlling it this time. I'm not doing the cameras or anything. I can almost just chill back and go again.
Comments to come in. We can see the pressure across at the bench over there. Yeah. So, they were laughing upstairs, weren't they, Gary?
Oh, yeah. When buffering, you're buffering. Yeah,
you can just relax with a cup of tea.
Yeah, just chill out. So I think we're going to start off with some of those photographs. Okay, we're going to have a little dive into some of those ones. So we don't know when they're going to come out and what order they're going to come in. We're going to have to look on our screen in order to see them, Krish. So we're going to bring up the first one. This is an Indian wiring. So let's have a look at what we've got.
First slide, please, Rick.
Now, before we go anywhere, I'd like to jump in here. This looks remarkably like Craig Gifford when he did those
block of flats.
He did. He put all the supplies in. He was very proud of the work that he's done. Obviously, it's not aged as well as
what's going on here then, Krish? What's this we're looking at?
Someone sent me this. It might have been my dad.
Yeah.
It's a meter room, so sub-mains distribution essentially. And really poor selectivity because unlike you have, I think 88 3 cutouts here, these are MCBs.
Okay.
So you can think about the poor selectivity that these would give you. And then those things on top are called DP switches, double pole switches, and it's a ceramic body with a plastic lid on with a neon indicator.
And I'm sure everybody, when that photograph jumped up onto the screens, thought exactly the same as you and me did. Selectivity was the first thing that jumped to my mind. I'm wondering which one's I'd be more interested in what they're actually doing, where they're going, okay, and obviously the wiring does look a little bit erratic, I would suggest.
Yeah, I think there's an Indian version of Joe Robinson out there.
All right,
looking at that, I just think they're a
You
little
need to
bit on
clarify your story.
well, just a little bit on the a bit of a slant to them, isn't there? There's a sort of, a bit wonky, should we say?
Carefully chosen words there, nearly didn't. So yeah, we've got the wonky enclosure, which is the trademark of Joe Robinson. He probably won't be in the comments tonight. He's got a heavy cold, is he? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think something.
We've
Seasonal illness that
Yeah,
seems to have come back.
Yeah, I think they've rephrased the words that was used perhaps in 2020. Now it's a heavy cold, isn't it? Okay,
yeah.
it's more befitting, I think, of what he's got. So there we go. That was the first one. So like we all thought there, selectivity. Let's see what the next one. The
Next
word
slide, please, Rick.
that jumps to mind. Okay.
What's going on here?
Saw this at a restaurant when I was waiting for the elevator. I couldn't help myself because there was an open electric cabinet.
As you do.
Yes, as I do.
Yeah.
As any good electrician would do.
Always in there, especially if you're in a restaurant. Yeah.
You can see the old colors are going on.
Again, that was the first thing I noticed. I was thinking, oh, that takes me back to a happier time. Red, yellow, blue comes off the tongue a lot easier than black, grey, blue.
Are they the
orange,
official colours in India?
They are the official colors in India,
Still?
yes. Still, I don't think we've harmonized with the
I'd
EU
like to
yet.
see. Yeah,
But-
we're all in.
Open VTPN board, MCBs protecting final circuits,
Yeah.
and
So that's a good thing.
yeah, again, selectivity. Oh, well, hang on. MCBs protecting, no RCD protection. Forget about type A.
I think
Okay.
it's the exposed live parts that are causing
Yeah.
the
Easy, easy. I'm not, I've looked in there. I thought no RCDs. Yeah. Great, Krish. Let's keep going. We've got loads of these. Let's see what Krish thinks of the next one. Let me guess, Krish. You don't like the fact that the red one is on its own and the yellow and blue are crossing over. Is that what you thought on that one?
Actually, this is, over here, this is a much more serious thing because you can see a burn mark over there on that molded case circuit breaker on the left, the second terminal from the left on the bottom.
I can't quite see it. What kind of conductor is that? Because obviously we've got I can see a blue, a yellow, and a red. What's that one then?
That's a black. It's the neutral.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, right. Okay. That shows you how good my eyes are. I forgot the old black was in there as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen recent in meter boxes over here. You sometimes see some of that these days. That's just it could be a small EV charger install.
Well, it could be, yeah, and that box could be maybe a meter box,
Yeah.
something like that far. So that's how it was. So no one's taken the cover off to expose anything. That's how it was left. Do we believe that it was left on its initial installation, these things? As we go through the photographs, are we saying that this is over time it's happened, or maybe someone's interfered with the wiring system, or someone's had a go, DIY type thing?
To be honest, I don't know because in India, I'm guessing a lot of people do touch electrics, although I discourage that. But I do think a lot of people touch electrics, so it's not safe to say it was just as it was after it was installed. But it's a pretty good part of that was as it is after it was installed.
Okay, I'll just say what I thought when I looked at that photograph. Red plug is what I thought. I wonder what that's feeding. I've not seen many red plugs and flexes.
It's drawn in by the ceramic thing there that looks like, I don't know, is that some incense burner or something like that?
It's some sort of aromatherapy. The red plug actually goes into a 4-way extension lead.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm sure that's a picture of healthy circuitry as well. Right, so what's next on the list?
Nothing wrong there.
No?
Move along,
Yeah,
folks.
I'll say, yeah. Okay, so we've drifted outside. Am I looking very low down there? Is that is that an earth electrode and earth connection, or am I missing out or reverse something randomly outside?
So this is actually quite interesting. It is actually an earth electrode, but you can't actually, I don't think you can see the electrode in there. And do you know what that pipe is?
No.
It's what you use to water the electrode.
Oh, right.
okay.
Well, yeah, okay. What, so you would pour water down the centre of that to keep the area moist?
Apparently to maintain a good ZS, and ZE value.
Top tip, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to say, so where we've got our chambers, obviously it's when you're watering the gun, you whip the top off the chamber, you'll pour a sprinkling in there, keep it nice and moist. I like that. I like that a lot. Yep. Okay, so just you told me off camera you'd actually taken, that wasn't like that, you took the cover off.
Someone had taken the cover off for this.
Yeah.
To have a look.
I think so, yes.
Okay.
I mean, I take you back, Gary. We had a little trip last year to a factory.
I knew you were going to go there.
I'm not going to name which factory, but wouldn't have looked out of place there, would it?
No, I mean, we saw some stuff in there. Premature collapsing jumped to mind at the time, didn't it? If anything come out the ceiling, yeah, we'd have been entangled on it.
Like hanging gardens above you.
Yeah, so this could be probably, any unmaintained factory in the UK, I would suggest what the disc board looks like.
It's a domestic, actually.
Okay.
Because we have three-phase pretty much everywhere. And the interesting thing is, you see that joint on the left?
Yes.
That's actually like a 16 mil cable being joined just with tape and, twisting.
Okay, and the problem being?
Sorry?
And what's the problem?
Well, the problem is it's not of good mechanical strength, the joint.
Okay. I was more drawn in. The minute you said that was domestic and three-phase, I went, oh, they've got it sorted for their EV fast charging. That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, no comment.
Okay, we'll come back to EVs when we talk
Someone's
about
managed to smuggle in some new breakers in there. It wasn't you, that, Krish, was it?
I don't touch those.
Yeah.
I wonder what's next. So, that was interesting to see that one. So there we are. We're drinking tea when the photographs are up is what we're doing. Getting caught out now. They're going to keep doing it, aren't they? So what's the next then for us, boys? Yeah, they're chuckling away in the corner there.
Right. Okay.
All right.
You actually have domestic properties with the transformer inside because that's just how it is.
Inside? That doesn't look inside to me unless you've got a tree in there.
Yeah, but it's inside the boundary lines of their property.
Okay. All right. So in the bottom of your garden, you've got a transformer, yeah?
Yeah, sometimes.
Coming in at 11 kV at the top or something?
It might be 22, actually.
Oh, 22. Well, I mean, what's 11,000 volts between friends when you're that close to something that isn't guarded by any form of protection?
And when I'm looking at probably tree line,
Yes.
and obviously where the trees are, it looks low. Is that a deceptive photograph or is that reasonably low?
No,
Can I jump and touch it?
You probably could, but so I actually saw something similar and I asked them why is it so low? And I'm not sure this was actually approved by the electricity board, but they said no one's going to touch it. I mean, it's a transformer, but I'm pretty sure that's not an approved method of, it's not a barrier or obstacle.
Hoping.
Placing.
Yeah.
It's not even placing out of reach. It's not even placing.
no.
After a few people have gone, most people in the community learn not to touch that transformer. There goes another one. I warned them last week.
Wow. Okay. So it's not placing out of reach. It's saying, you'll be stupid to touch it.
And there's no. Yeah. Well, this is yes.
Are they bolted on? I can't see from here. They got bolts on them, or are they just rested on there?
They probably do have bolts on, but
Hammered on.
yes, I think there's another picture towards the end. But what's interesting is you see that exposed steel wire over there.
Yes.
That actually goes to an earth electrode.
Right. Okay.
'Cause
So effectively, that star connected, and that's the connection for the star
That's
of the
the
load?
neutral.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Ah, I love it. Love it. That's good. Nothing wrong with that one.
This is a pump on a jacuzzi.
Okay.
Oh, right. Okay. Everyone's thinking, wow, they've got jacuzzis out there. They're not thinking about the pump. So pump on a jacuzzi. And there's the pump, is it? Is that
That's the same pump. That's the junction box. Yeah.
Okay.
Some more pictures.
So not quite, a little bit. Needs a bit of maintenance. I would
The interesting thing is, if you look at the wire colors on the previous image, they're actually brown, blue, and green and yellow, because the pump was probably brought in from Europe.
Good of us to help you out. So I can suggest you having jacuzzis, so nice for us to get involved. Okay, let's see if we've got something that makes us a little bit more startled. Here we go. So next one up.
Oh,
Yeah,
that looks like a socket with a motor starter built into it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But yeah,
love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah.
Still the 5 and 15 amp BS sockets, they're still the standard?
546 and is the plug. So 546 is the plug, and then I think 1293 is the socket.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure this is something else. I don't know what it is. It was at a restaurant.
Yeah.
It's in a bathroom as well.
Well,
Again,
that could be.
it's again least your worries. Right.
Oh, there you go. That's the one we used in the thumbnail.
Now,
image,
yeah.
Bus bar chamber.
Well, I was thinking actually the IP rating on the bottom there for the grommet. I would suggest that I think I haven't got IPXXB there, and I think I can get my finger in. That was the first thing I thought. Gordon, what was your thinking?
Yeah, I was more interested in those cable glands. Look quite good then.
And also, again, jumping in there again, lovely tie wrapping of the green conductors, how they've bunched them together. That's got a whiff of someone who's taking their time to make a good job of it.
I think that's a bit of data passing through, was it?
Oh, right.
No, it's CPCs.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
good.
they're tidy.
And
Yeah.
when you found that, or the photographer sent you, there was no cover on it. That's how it was found, yeah?
Yeah, this was at the same place where I saw the other stuff near the elevators.
Oh, well, there you go.
wow.
Well, I mean, that pales into insignificance now. I mean, you'd have to work hard to get your hand into the distribution board. You could trip into there. couldn't you?
You could. So this links nicely, doesn't it, to our Safe for September safe isolation in the UK and how you're trying to embrace it where you are in India. And you, like you said, you can take some of our safe isolation kits back with us with our blessing, but it's almost not an issue, is it? It's just
Got a few stages first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You might be an early adopter of the isolation kits and safe isolation procedure.
But I get that. But I've got a bit of a bugbear on that, because almost have we made things too safe?
Give us the example, like your consumer unit one you did for me.
Yeah,
Make it nice and
so it's
simple.
like now. I mean, if everyone remembers back in the day when you had the old Wilex consumer units, the brown Bakelite ones, or the whites as they got a bit older.
No,
Yeah,
don't
with the
remember
cartridge
them.
fuses.
Yeah, not
I've
at all.
seen them in videos of yours, Carrick. That's where I've seen them in there.
I don't remember. You probably fitted them.
Yeah,
Yeah, go.
There's
Yeah.
still loads out there.
There is, yeah.
And you used to take the cover off, 2 screws on the cover.
Yep.
Or first, no, you had to take the shield off. There was a funny shield, wasn't there, around the fuses. Could you get the cover off without removing the fuses?
Some of them did.
On
'cause
the
they-
rewirables, you couldn't,
they
could
had the
you?
little plastic thing and the on-off thing was in the way. The next iteration, I think, was the plastic guard over the front.
Yeah.
And how many times was the plastic terminal guard for the line of neutral missing? You know yourself when you pulled it off. Sometimes you might not have always remembered to put it back. But the buzz bar was just there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then obviously, if you did pull out a device, you got a chance of touching both sides.
Yeah.
You leap forward to our consumer units now. Okay, still 2 screws.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably hasn't changed on a domestic board, especially. I get it open, and I used to do this when I taught. You still can't touch anything, can you?
No, you'd have to work hard unless...
With a natural finger,
Yeah.
you cannot touch any of the live parts, can you?
Yeah, if it's been properly put together and the bus bar shields in and
Yeah,
everything
okay.
that should be in there.
Depends which make. Again, some
Yeah.
don't even have bus bars. But yeah, so it's almost impossible. You've got to go to an incredible amount of effort to receive an electric shock. And we've got all these processes before, which I think is fantastic. I'm not decrying it. But then we look at this. This is just waiting for an accident waiting to happen. So with that in mind, would you know, Christian, and you might not, how many people may be involved in serious or maybe life-changing or life-ending accidents with electricity in maybe a year in India or a month, a day, whatever stat you might be able to pull on? I don't want an approximate.
I read it was 10,000 one year. That must have been a bad year with floods and stuff, but on average,
Lost their life.
yeah. And that was, I believe that was just electrocution.
Wow.
We have the regs, it's just people are not bothered to look at them.
Sobering thought, though. Innit? I know your population is quite large, okay, which is fine, but 10,000 of one person's too many. In any country, one person's too many. 10,000 people lost their life with it. That's a serious amount of people. Continue on with the photographs. Let's see why the chances obviously are high by having a look at another picture. Come on, Rick. I'd have got it up by now if it was by me. Yeah, okay.
This is a well done job, apparently.
A well done job.
Apparently.
What makes that a well done job?
Honestly, I don't know, but yeah.
What?
Semi-straight,
Okay. Well, we don't know whether that's got 2 layers of insulation on it. It might be yellow, red. We don't know. So there might be some form of protection there. If they're single insulated, I would suggest we're not saying it's a good job. Okay. Next one. Let's have a look what we got next. That looks perfect. What's wrong with that?
I'd say suitability for external influence.
Watching Gary's conduit videos there. So that trunking into conduit. That's quite.
That is trunking into conduit. And then you have a bit of bare wire as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, probably single insulated.
From what we've seen so far, that's actually looking the best one to me. I don't know anyone else. That looks super safe. Next one.
Yes, consumer unit at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking the trunking didn't quite get to the end. That was my first thoughts. A little bit short on the trunking length. Maybe the fan could do with being cleaned if it's in a restaurant.
Probably
Those
could.
papers are going to ruffle when the fans are on.
Oh, how annoying.
It's going to annoy your meal, isn't it? It's going to use a rustling paper in the background. That would do me in.
They fit a silent fan like that one, and then you can hear them papers rustling.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Now I can work this one out. What's the copper strap down the centre doing?
So that's actually quite interesting because here you use a Vago connector to splice a wire and let's say terminate it at various switches that go to various lights, right?
Yeah.
But the lazy way out is to just put a bare strand of copper through, let's say, 8 switches and then tighten them on there. Do you get what I'm saying?
So they're all shorted across each other.
They are shorted across.
Okay,
and
so-
then the blue ones are the switch line. The wrong colors, granted.
Again, probably not the level of probability of being a problem. So, yeah, I've never seen a sort of stick of rock almost, doesn't it? Blue and white. And does it look like something's intersected the bare conductor in the middle, or is that my eyes?
No, that's just the gap. But right over there, you can see that another conductor's hit it, and there's been a bit of arcing, and there's a bit of like, I don't know, not soot is not the right word, but there's a bit of blackish stuff over there.
Okay. Yeah, all right, no worries. Okay. All right, okay, different way around it. Have we got any more, Rick? Last one. So,
It's like an office, is that a floor box or something in an office?
well, I think this is all about segregation of band 1 and band 2. Is that what annoyed you there? You got some data cable in with some mains?
That was as it was found, apparently.
And what's wrong with that?
So many things. Where do I start?
Well, with the first one.
Single insulated cables.
Okay.
That's not actually a junction box. It's probably something homemade.
Okay.
Segregation of cables.
Flexi conduits for people who can't do conduit, that type of thing. I agree. All right, okay, so interesting. Yeah, okay, so you've got a journey to go on, and we're going to explore that journey throughout our time here on the live stream. We'll go back in, we'll talk about whether different parts of India can have 24/7 for electricity. Probably something that's coming into focus a little bit now, because it's getting a little bit chilly, isn't it, Gordon? We've noticed it here in the north. We're still in T-shirts. Obviously, Krish has got a shirt and a jumper on, so he's finding it really cold. Which
I spotted the other morning I came in, Joe already had your Makita heated jacket on.
I know. He told me first thing this morning, I'm wearing your jacket. Yeah, sort of done me there. He's wearing
already
a coat
on though. No, it was already on.
Yeah, it did. It didn't go without notice. So with that in mind,
Joe in the coat there.
yeah, there he is in a coat. Yeah, Rick's toughing it out. He goes to watch Leeds United every home game. He don't need a top, does he? Okay. Right. So let's go. Let's
Got any
jump in.
comments, Rick? Hold on, let's have a. We can't see the comments
No,
at the
we
minute.
can't
so
now,
people
can we?
be saying,
You've got no laptop, have you?
No.
Haven't it? Got any comments?
Yeah, so we're getting quite a lot of buffering, so sorry about that, but I think it's sorted itself out now, which is...
Wow.
So hopefully...
Are you
Hopefully it's
buffering
good.
on yours?
Yeah,
All right, okay.
but also people in the comments, so...
Yeah.
But I think it's stopped now, so hopefully it's a sign of things to come.
All right, okay. It just takes the wind out your sails, doesn't it? Ah, dear. Okay then, gents, so we noticed there that Joe has obviously got his coat on, and it is just turning a little bit, and that the mind turns then to maybe Gary's Swap Shop. So when we think about Gary's Swap Shop, we always need a keyword. Well done, Rick. And the keyword is, I imagine many a family up and down the country will be using this keyword in the next couple of weeks. They're going to be saying things like, put the heating on. Put the heating on. So that's going to be Gary's keyword. I'm going to finish the sentence in a minute. Okay, put the heating on, okay, is Gary's Swap Shop keyword. We'll come back to the prize in a second. That's going to be said up and down the country. Put the heating on, and then it's going to be followed with not until January. Yeah.
So I hope people have programmed their Alexa, so that Alexa, put the heating on, isn't a trigger word.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do that.
Oh, right,
actually.
okay.
Can you do that, Rick? You got that one?
So, yeah.
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 Boost the heating.
Boost the heating.
Or Alexa, boost the heating, yeah.
Yeah.
Alexa,
Oh well.
boost the heating.
Yeah.
That's what we want. Put the heating on in order to play on Gary's Swap Shop, and you'll be finishing that sentence off. Not until next month, not until November, not until after Christmas, not until next year, okay, because we know what's going to happen. Obviously, we're still driven by energy prices that are doubled through. In order to reserve a little bit of your cash, you're not going to put the heating on quite as early as you did in the past. So with that in mind, I'm going to help you by not putting your heating on. So keywords is put the heating on, put the heating on, and I'm going to give away 2 safe isolation kits, okay? So they're going to go
We're
away.
going to lock off the switches.
Oh yeah,
the MCBs there.
yeah. So you can't. Yeah, lock the children in the bedroom. We've got 2 of these beautiful hats. I think
Sockets.
we had a super chat come in. Did with the lights change? Did we have a super
Yeah,
chat? Who was
sockets.
it from? Oh, well, we preempted you this time. We didn't even put things away. So 2 woolly hats that you can get for the kids to wear in bed when they're freezing cold. And we've got a couple of these from our good friend Trevor. We've got the EV thermos flasks as well. So if you put a hot drink in there, Gordon, what happens to the drink?
It keeps it hot.
Okay, does it work in reverse?
It does, but not at the same time.
So you can't put a hot drink in and a cold
Not the
ice
same,
lolly.
yeah.
Okay, so just bear that one in mind. So in order to play along, okay, you need to put the heating on, and then you can make the rest of the sentence up at home, but not on the actual chat in order to enter in. Have we had any come in yet, or are we
Yeah, there's,
buffering
a few,
away?
there's a few that are coming
And
through
how's
now.
the buffering going?
It seems to be a bit quiet on the buffer in front.
Okay, we apologise that's happened. We've had...
Just as well, he didn't pick that keyword.
Yeah,
it would have been a nightmare.
It was going to be... Would have been. Okay, what you got to send in to me? So we need something for you to send in to me, and Gordon's going to choose that for us this week. What would you like him to send in for Gary Swap Shop, Gordon?
Ooh, for that. Put the heating on. Let's have a think. An old, yeah, there's a big one. We'll stretch it a bit here. An old time clock.
Oh, wow.
An old central heating time clock. Everyone must have them because everyone's doing smart. If you're not fitting smart thermostats now, you're missing a trick. An old Sportsman or something like that.
We're not going to pick the brand, an old time clock. And if you go to the effort, there is a chance if I'm about a line side shooters, I might sneak another prize in. It depends if Joe's doing it. The post went out today, didn't it? For people who won last time, we did the post today. So put the heating on for Gary Swap Shop, win these prizes, but only if you pulled out at the end and only if you send me a time clock in the post, and we'll tell you how to do that at the end of the show to send your prizes in. That's really good. Where would you like to go next, Gordon? Because you were looking at the board.
Well,
I thought you might have read it.
I think we're going off to the register, actually. So we get a little bit of a break here.
We're back to the people with coats on, are we?
Yeah, we're going to put the coats on.
Okay, so we're back over to the register.
Yeah, register time.
You need camera on you
We're
first.
We're all on.
You're on the wrong camera. You're on the wrong camera.
Yeah, we'll switch it.
We'll just switch it over then. There we go.
Give them a hand. Oh, they've got one.
Try our best over here. Yeah, so we've got returning members and new members. So, Vic, do you want to do the returning and I'll do the new?
Yeah, I've got Gavin Geeney, Aaron, Sean Dempsey, Chris Oswin the Sparky, East Power Engineering, Sean the Spark. Let me just stop that a minute. Ooh. Sean the Spark, Andrew Brown, Carl Robinson, Terry Moore, Sparky 400T, James Kane, Dan Sparky in training, D Smale, sorry if I've killed that, A Spark 1, Mrs Hayes is in.
Yay!
Brian Hewitt, Daddy B, Big Ash, Bill Torrey, Gifford Electrical, Kevin Osborne, Lee Winsper, Sergio Fernandez, PDKH, Dave Noble, Sockets, Crumpers, R Davis Electrical, That Tool Guy, Jamie Blayton, The Information Torpedo, Stokey Sparky, DAE and Marshall Tufflex.
Yep, so that's the returning members. So thank you for watching week in, week out. We appreciate it. And despite the buffering, I'm on camera here. Yeah, so we've got the new members. So we've got Martin Russell from Marshall Tufflex. He's taking on the challenge role tonight, so you'll see how he does in a bit. We've got, I don't know how I'm going to say that, Proxionero 12. M65 Electricians, Brian Naker, Kuyate Masiere, Bill's Countryside Adventures, Demo Gaming, Stephen Skillen, Georgie Matthew Racy, The Tired Dad and Luke Ashton. So that's the register for this week. I'll hand back over to you.
Brilliant, guys. Yeah, you've got a lot of things to think about over there. Normally you just sit up, don't
That's
they?
great. We have some pinned comments. Rick, is there any interesting comments?
We're just chilling back here. We're getting used to this. It reminds me of those two people. One's male and one's female, and they do like a thing in the morning. They've got their own show. Can you remember who they are?
What, on breakfast telly?
Yeah, no, it's the
Phil
and Holly.
Oh, mid-morning telly, guy. Well, I don't see that. You'll be at home. Just before Homes Under the... I was after Homes Under the Hammer. I don't know.
I embarrassed my wife in Marks and Spencer's at the weekend. We thought we'd go and do a little trip down to Marks and Spencer's because you know those wonderful biscuits your wife brings in the box for us.
Yep.
I obviously realised they were for Marks and Spencer, so I went and bought 2 of those for the weekend, having to sit in front of the telly for a long time on Monday. So we're in Marks and Spencer's. I've got loads of stuff on mine, and a lady comes around, an older lady, really nice, just 2 items. So I said to the lady, embarrassed the wife, remember, I said to the lady, I said, look, you've only got a couple of things. Would you like to go in front of me? And she walked past me, and she got to the front of the queue. The minute she got to the front of the queue, in a very loud voice, and I've got a loud voice, I shouted, she's doing, what do you reckon the next word was? A Schofield. And I kept, she's doing a Schofield, she's doing a Schofield. She jumped the queue.
Right.
Just bypassed everyone else in the queue, thought she was more important than me. Bang, right at the front. So, okay. So I'd like to suggest anyone out there, if you're jumping a queue, you're doing a Schofield. And if you want to circle back to a story later on, I'll tell you about when I did a Schofield at Euro Disney.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, good story that is. That is a good story. So, right, okay, so that's really good. So we've got Pointless View this week, haven't we?
We have got Pointless View, yeah. So it's out. It gives, we get lots of comments on videos all the time.
We do.
All of them great. We try and answer as many as physically possible.
Yeah.
unless we've made a horrendous mistake and it just wears down, you know, the exposed copper or something like that.
Oh, Rick's race wall.
Rick's race wall.
Rick's race wall.
Yeah. People don't get the idea that it was a competition, but there you go. Sometimes things are lost in the shorts community, particularly.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now it's just pointless view. Anyone who can remember points of view on the television will be very familiar with
And it's
this.
a cross between that and pointless, isn't it? And
Yes.
So we got to our one. So it gives you a chance, and there is some people in there who are regular commenters, so please don't think we're trying to offend you in any way. It's all part of the humour. You sent the comment, remember? We just read it back and reacted to it. So they're over there. They're absolutely panicking over there in the corner of the right. It's a shame they didn't put a camera on themselves. They're worrying away over there. So we're going to go over to Pointless View, and Joe's in the studio for that one. Look, there they are. Yes, let's have Pointless View.
And now on eFIXX TV, it's time for Pointless View. Hello and welcome to Pointless View, the section of the show where we give you the opportunity to have your voice heard, or at least the opportunity to have your voice rehashed by a bored and underpaid actor. I'm the Asda Smart Price version of Richard Osman. Since the last Pointless View, we've launched a new podcast called Electrical News Weekly, featuring updates on products, events and news from the industry. To say that it encourages opinionated comment is to toy recklessly with the concept of understatement. One recent episode led with a story of a builder masquerading as an electrician using unauthorised NIC, EIC and gas-safe branding. The story led to some strong feeling and stronger comments, not just about the builder, but about the CPS providers in general, such as this one from regular commenter Anthony Charles.
The only time the NIC prosecute anyone is when they're missing out on their enrolment fee. The governing bodies and building control are a waste of time, and neither are interested in protecting the consumer. Publicly, they will say they are, but in reality, they don't give a monkeys.
Now, far be it from me to comment on people's spelling. I'm pretty sure autocorrect has a lot to answer for when it comes to igniting online feuds. However, I'm also pretty sure that the NIC, EIC don't give away Davy Jones, Mickey Dolenz, Peter Tork, nor Michael Nesmith, as it's not their place to give away members of boy bands off of the 60s. Magnanimously overlooking this scholarly slip-up, one of our other regular commenters, Dean G, weighed in with the following.
Firstly, the NIC, EIC do not have the power to prosecute. It will be the CPS. Secondly, if you had watched the first minute of the video, it is perfectly clear this wasn't about whether he paid membership fees to the NIC, EIC. This was a rouge workman that was ripping people off and not completing jobs and substandard work. And there are other organisations beside the NIC, EIC that an electrician can join. So not necessarily the case that the NIC, EIC have lost any income.
Again, this programme is not about correcting literacy gaffes, however, I'm guessing the workman was not in fact wearing red blusher on his cheeks. This conversation continued for some time, even taking fascinating side trails into MCB selection and Shuko plugs from other commenters, but ultimately it came down to a debate between the original posters, mainly about the nature of law itself. We're just waiting for one of them to call the other Hitler, Godwin's law will have been met, and we can call the debate over. But it's not just the news drawing out people's fervour. We created a couple of videos reviewing and testing the strut slayer from Rigid Tools, which we thought was an excellent bit of kit, featuring exciting moments like... and...
It's not your turn yet. I'm going to have to shove it. You haven't even got gloves on. I'm going to have to use the stand.
To say that it's split opinion is akin to suggesting that Shakespeare dabbled in theatre. Representing the pro side of the debate is this pithy comment from Tengiz Sengiz.
Amazing. No filing, no soaring in the freezing cold, no hot works permit, etc.
And a typical comment from the cons, represented by friend of the show, A-Spark1.
Fantastic tool that no mortal electrician will ever use. Secret millionaires only need apply. Yes, for us less well-off electricians, the good old Makita chop saw will still be the favoured option, and the humble apprentice will still have to use the hacksaw with a blunt blade over the edge of a broken pallet. Smiley face emoji, Cochrane emoji, clown emoji.
Followed by the now traditional 1-2 punch from Sean Dempsey.
Nice. I was liking that till you showed it was a Bluetooth and an app. Also another fancy overpriced toy for some scumbag to nick for the van. Just my opinion. But with tool theft on a massive increase, you're fueling the problem by reviewing these toys maybe. But who am I to argue? I'm just a humble spark whose opinion means nothing. Rolling on the floor, laughing emoji. Fantastic video, guys, as always. Thumbs up emoji, 3 times love heart emoji.
So a bewildering combination there of a fantastic video promoting tool theft. Somehow. Anyway, just to summarise, it's not the cheapest bit of kit around and probably not cost effective for occasional use, but if you're chopping strut day in, day out, it would pay for itself quick sharp, and of course it reduces sparks, swarf, dangerous spinny blades, most likely repetitive strain injury, and of course any need for a hot works permit. So yeah, context matters. Speaking of context, the final video sparking controversy, or at least the final video sparking controversy that we've got time for today, we installed the Whisker Consumer Unit Relocation Kit featuring top job connectors from Vargo. This product is designed to make extending cables when changing the position of a consumer unit quick, easy and neat, and featured classic moments like...
Is it time for the multi-tool?
As well as...
And that's it, all finished. But as always, it's your thoughts and comments that drive us on. Please leave all them below and I'll let Rick get back to all of them.
Now, you'd think this would make a welcome and non-controversial topic for a video, however, our dedicated viewers found one common thread to politely query.
Be good if it was metal, not plastic, being as we have to fit a metal DB.
Why is this plastic box acceptable when plastic consumer units are frowned on? I know breakers can burn up, but so can a bad connector, and there are lots in there.
I can never understand why we can have plastic enclosures like in this kit when consumer units have to be metal.
Just out of interest, why can this be plastic when fuse has to be metal? Yet they have a current voltage going through them. Makes little sense to me.
Plastic.
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 Plastic. Plastic. Plastic. Plastic. Plastic.
Okay, so just to clarify, the regs only require consumer units and similar switchgear assemblies in domestic properties to be non-combustible or enclosed in a non-combustible enclosure or cabinet. This product contains no switchgear, it's just a big old junction box, and therefore it's quite acceptable for it to be made out of plastic. But we feel that the last word on this subject has to go to Dimitris Kaloupis, who was so impressed by the installation work on show that it led him to completely misunderstand the channel.
Hi guys, do you undertake domestic installation jobs in the Southampton area? Thanks.
No, Dimitris, no we don't. But Gordon is known to do the occasional moonlighting job on the weekend for cash in hand, so feel free to get in touch with him. All that remains is to say, good night, awkward wink.
Wow, we had some fun making that, didn't we?
What? Was that us?
Well, we
I don't
did.
know where those people came from.
And the members of the team with skills that we didn't realise they had, we think one of our team could have done all the voices for everyone, don't we? Because he was absolutely brilliant. We won't name him, but he's wearing a coat this evening, isn't he? So it was great fun. And again, brilliantly put together by Joe. He's not in the comments this evening. He's, I think, had an early night tonight. He's not feeling great, but that's good. And please, because there's some regulars in there, it's tongue-in-cheek. We weren't having a go at you.
Yeah, no. And we love the comments section.
Yeah, we do. We can't get back to them all, though. If you think we're across every social media platform, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. And we've had a comment come in here. Your Scottish accent's cracking, isn't
Oh,
it?
speak the Scottish accent. Well, I had time to practice it last week. We're at a wee house up in just outside of Glasgow. They're fitting some lights.
Did you bring anything back for us to taste?
Well, we brought a range of Scottish produce, obviously,
lovely.
and we've got, for the first time on television here, Krish is going to try a can of Urn Brew.
All right.
Are you ready for this, Krish?
I just hope it doesn't taste like root beer.
It's better than root beer.
Yeah,
So here we go. Unfortunately, we've finished all the caramel wafers and the tonic tea cake.
we have. Is it? There's an option here of a little bit of close-up, Cam. So
All right,
here we
here it
go.
goes.
First ever. Lips around it.
Sort of like root beer, but better.
Okay, so maybe they can write that on the can in the future. Yeah, kind of like root beer, but tasty. That would be good, wouldn't it? So yeah, it's one of those. So how's the second gulp?
Possibly get used to it.
Okay. Oh, okay, sounds like marriage to me. That does.
There you go. You could be the importer. Don't bring that into India, Krish. You could be sort of like root beer, but better. I could see on a billboard.
Yeah, with my face just like this.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So first time iron brewed. That's good. Any other? You've done Dr Pepper. Have you done cherry cokes and things like that? Do you do any of those?
I think you can get those at like expensive stores, but.
So what's the beverage of choice in India then? Might as well do beverages for a second.
We have a local cola called Thumbs Up.
Thumbs up.
Oh,
I like the sound of that. So and it's like a Coca-Cola beverage, yeah?
I've never had it,
Right. Okay.
but
So what's your choice of drink then? Are you a waterman?
orange juice.
Orange juice. Oh dear. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to follow him in. Yeah, there's plenty of that in a day. So, okay, so we're going back to Safe to September. Just to clarify, because we want to give away these, don't we? We want to give away 10 of these, don't we, Gordon?
Yes, we do, yeah.
So how do I give these away? How can I give these away?
So if you've already done our CPDs on safe isolation, just share your certificate to your story, not the story, to a post, as a post on Instagram. And that's the problem we have, because someone put in the comments, I think it was Sean Dempsey, said, well, I'm not on Instagram. Unfortunately, we have to have some rules, because there's that many different ways people message us, you know, if you think LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, we get messages coming in all sorts. So we just picked Instagram because that tends to be the most popular and easiest to post images on.
And also, and I'd like to defend the people, it's the nicest place for electricians to play. It's not Twitter, is it? Okay, so if we did it on Twitter, so we think it's the nicest place to play. You've got to put it on your normal feed, not your story. You can put it on both, but it's definitely got to be on your feed. But for us to go back and find it, what hashtag do they need to leave with?
Safe for September, and if you can tag in us and TIS at the same time as well.
And we're at it, aren't we? We're at eFIXX and at TIS,
yeah.
So do that, and it doesn't matter. I don't mind if you go back and find your certificate that you've done many months ago, as long as you're sharing it on your story, feed. Feed.
Yeah.
We'll edit that out.
Post.
As long as you post it and not put it on your story, then it all works for us.
And if you're not convinced, there's a link in the description below. It'll take you to our Safe for September competition page on the website where it explains it all. And if you dial back to the competition tab, there's some other competitions running at the minute as well. Okay. For other CPDs that we've done. Right. But these are great little testers, because they've got the built-in proving units. No. We've been using ours.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, we've got some footage coming up. Yeah. Okay, so with that in mind, though, you might be saying, like Sean is, that he can't get his onto Instagram. He's not on Instagram. That's fine. There's 100 safe isolation kits we're giving away, and how do you enter that?
You just have to do the CPD, be a new person to do it, and we'll see you. We've already got your details if you've done the CPD. We'll pick out 100 people at the end of this month, sometime in October, because we're out and about for the next live stream. But we'll, and it's.
That's good. So 100. So all you need to do is do it. We've got all your details, because you have to give your email address and details, so we can send the certificate to you. We'll be able to contact you and obviously send out your safe isolation kit. 100 people will win those. So there's 110 prizes up for grabs, and you can win both as well. So talking to Safe for September, I've been going to colleges last academic year, which was in this year, and I continue on Monday when I go to Lincoln College, and we'll come back to that in a minute. And when I was at those colleges, we're talking about eFIXX College connections. We want our connection to start before we arrive, continue on the day, and also continue on when we left. And it's fantastic to look back now at new learners coming into colleges that I've already been to, that I never get to see, that are actually now taking part in the Safe for September campaign. And I'd like to shout out those colleges. So we've got Walsall College, they're taking part in it, and I have never visited them, so they've done their own back. They might be in the 2023 list, haven't checked it yet. Newark, so I went to Newark College, and they're absolutely crushing it. I think every learner has to do it there, regardless of their level, and regardless whether they're an electrician or a plumber. We've got Oaklands College as well. So Oaklands, I think, is the one that I did in St Albans, and they contacted me this week to say, yeah, brilliant, they're on it. Mid-Kent College, I did them right at the end of the academic year. Lovely experience there. The level 3 learners said to me after I'd done my conversation, I let them all go. They all stayed in the room, and they all came around and said to me, we wish you'd have turned up 2 years ago with some of the advice I'd given them, because they were finishing a couple of weeks after that. But Mid-Kent College are on it, and they are doing that Safe for September campaign as a safe isolation process. We know Waltham Forest was doing it. They were the first ones to take it up, and their college lecturer was getting it in and hashtagging it. Lincoln College is where we will be on Monday. And again, I'll come back to that in a second. Colchester Institute, we're not going to them, but they are taking up the challenge of Safe for September, as well as Woodhouse College. They're all doing it. And when I say they're doing it in large volume. So you might be a college or a college learner that's one person's done it. I might not have been able to pull you out, but that is brilliant. Now, Lincoln College, we go there on Monday. We're doing a college connection, which you won't see. But to be part of that process, we're actually going to do our second live stream. Fingers crossed, we're going to be doing that from the college. They've said we can do it. We're taking all the kit down there. And me and Marcus are going to live stream from there. We're going to give you some tips about making the most of your college life. Now, you might be watching this thinking, I'm not college, I'm an electrician, I'm tuned into this show because I'm an electrician. What we really want is electricians in the comments so they can be saying, this is great advice, I also recommend, have you thought about doing this to get a job? You've got a job, have you thought about doing the X, Y and Z? So we still want electricians to participate in that. I'm sure Big Ash and people like that will be in the comments to support the people that are in there that are from the learning basis. So it's about 6:30, we're going to do that, aren't we?
Yeah.
On Monday.
Well,
so,
not me.
Well, no.
You.
Yeah, I've got to do everything, haven't I?
I guess.
I've got Marcus.
See what it's like in the old days. Gary will have his iPad out and tearing his hair out, and Elm's flying around like Mr. Tickle. Yeah. And we'll be there.
Yeah, I've got to hope the 4G
I'll tune in.
connects. Yeah.
I'll be in the comments, Gary. Thanks very much.
You haven't read any comments out, guys. You're buffering, you know. Oh, dear. So, so hopefully you can support us on that. It's a bit of fun. We're in a college. We don't know what it's going to be. I don't know how that's going to come out, but it's all about supporting the next generation learners. We've got 4 more to do this academic year. Is that it then? Is the eFIXX College Connections ending in 2022?
No.
Are we doing it in 2023?
Rolls into 2023, and we're going to try
we need 12 to doing that. Have we got 12 yet?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. We're already looking at 2024, actually, so to say there's a thing. And another thing we've picked up a lot of time is a lot of electricians have got apprentices, but they never take the time to visit the college. No. And there's a disconnect, and I think there's a real value if you have got time to go in and share some experience with the learners. Yeah. Possibly you might have even got to that college in the past. I'm sure they'd love to see you back.
100%.
But is there times a year that'd be better to do that? Or
Certainly before March.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're in that window now. You'll be part of the enrichment process, and I hear it a lot. Words like, I'm not even saying the thing. What do they teach you at college? Well, if you've only got 6 hours of somebody's week at college and they've got a 5-day week, well, actually, you're probably the smallest part of their learning when they've got 4 days at work as an apprentice. So, of course, that 4 days should have more value maybe than 6 because there's more time doing it, but often we get lost in the process. And then they'll say, well, we're doing battery, EV and solar. They don't teach you that at college. No, they don't. They do probably, I don't know, trigonometry, they do squirrel cage motors and all the rest of it, which you don't do at work. There must be a compromise between how much can be taught in 6 hours and how much can be taught in 4 days. But if you're a battery solar expert or whatever, go in, spend a day, do a masterclass. Yeah.
Or even that, or if you're looking to recruit an apprentice, is you obviously go in and have a word with the lecturers. Who's the star? Doing some reconnaissance.
Filter out, and I always say to everyone, I would never take anyone on without doing work experience first. Yeah. Even if it was me sister's old boy. Take them on work experience and work out where they want to do it, and let them work out where they want to do it as well. And if the answer is yes, then maybe move the process forward. And don't be scared to do a year's worth of work experience. Leave them on the college course. But we'll come back to all those bits when we go live from Lincoln. I think it's time for you to request and ask people to do things on your behalf, isn't it, Gordon?
Well, I think, that must mean it's like, you've leapt ahead there, Gary, actually. I'm looking on that. It is time for the Electricians Challenge. And taking it on this week are the team from Marshall Tufflex, who came up to see us a couple of months ago now, wasn't it?
They were great fun.
And we're still friends.
They haven't watched what we've done to the pair of them yet, have they?
Soon to be ex-friends coming up as they take on the Electricians Challenge. Now, as part of that process, you can, and it comes in marvellously on time there, you can gamble on the time in which they complete the challenge in. So we want the time going up first it's non-electrician first.
It is?
Yeah. It's Martin going first. So we're gambling on Martin's time.
So we're going to give them a minute or two to get their times in before we kick into Martin. I think this would be a good opportunity while people put the time is to thank the people that support the live stream.
That's a good idea, Gary. Can you remember who they are?
Well, I'm now not in control of the board, so I've got to go with, I'd like to thank my great friends at Vargo. You could say Wago if you want. Marshall Tufflex. We could thank our lovely people at My Energy, Luden Palazzoli and Doncaster Cables, but there's always one that slips my mind.
Lasico.
Well done, yeah, BG Lasico, and that will lead us nicely into our sneak peek later on, won't it? You've ticked them off, you've wrote them down and ticked them off, haven't you? He is an absolute melt, isn't he? So they're on the board now, so we'd like to thank these people for supporting the live stream, and without their help, it would be very challenging to bring it live every 2 weeks.
And a lot of them are supporting the College Connections as well, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
and college gets a chunk of gear when they turn up. And I'll tell you, we've just had, not that Schneider are giving away their latest 3-phase distribution board that includes the AFDD, which we're going to have to do a little review of it. I saw Neil Bridgman teasing it out because he'd even moved away from Eton to fit one of them because they had the solution.
So you're telling me they're giving a 3-phase distribution board away to a college for free that has AFDDs in it, single and 3-phase RCDs as well?
Yeah.
Massive 3-phase board?
Yeah, it's
fantastic. And that's what I'm going to be turning up. That's an extra. That's a new addition to it. We also bring single-phase AFDDs in, don't we?
Yes.
Thanks to the great Live people at Lasico, BG Lasico, they do that. Do we take in LED strip?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Downlights?
Yeah, robust, yeah.
What about torque screwdrivers?
Torque screwdrivers,
No,
yeah,
we don't.
That. So it's all the things that you'd think colleges would have, but don't necessarily have.
You'll be telling me we're taking a Matrel meter in next.
Yeah, well, there we go.
Yeah, some great stuff.
Have we got some times coming in, Rick?
We've got some time coming in, yeah.
Are we sitting at fast or slow on this one, where we're sitting?
It's the non-electrician.
Non-electricians go first, we'll find out.
Barry second, isn't he? Barry second. So it's going to be Martin first. So,
It's time for another Electricians Challenge. Now, it's always fantastic to be able to put a name behind the brands that I'm sure electricians are fitting on a daily basis. It's my pleasure to introduce Barry Roberts and Martin Russell from Marshall Tufflex. So, if anyone hasn't seen Marshall Tufflex, been supporting our College Connections programme, which is great, but we've, as part of that, we've managed to lure you up here to take on our Electricians Challenge. So we'll start with you, Martin. You're not an electrician.
I'm not an electrician. Never been on the tools at all.
Okay, well that's your first excuse. Barry, you have, so we're expecting big things from you.
So I've run out of excuses probably, but yeah, electrician many years ago.
Right.
So yeah, many years ago.
Many years. Do you want to quantify
that? I came into the industry at 16 at 1980. Did a 5-year apprenticeship, then I was on the tools for about 3 years before I moved into the office. So
was that a reflection of your skills on the tools?
No, I think a reflection on our progress, you know, progress up the ladder. So yeah.
Sometimes they promote people out of trouble.
Yeah, they do, but I'd like to think they promoted me out of ability, but who knows?
Who knows?
After all these years, you've actually thrown something else in the ring there. It could have been to promote me out of trouble. So yeah, I'll take that away with me.
But now you concentrate on specification sales?
Specification on Marshall Tufflex products with consultants and contractors and designers,
And that's great. It just shows people where you can actually go with starting with an electrician.
Yeah.
You can end up, you don't have to stay as an electrician, you can wander into the world of sales and you don't have to do any proper work anymore.
Yeah, no, well, I think it's the understanding of the contracting industry that helps with specification. So
yeah. And Martin, you're in product management.
Correct. Yep.
Yep. So it works here. Barry gets it specified. So if you're on site and you don't like what's been specified, it's Barry's fault. If you don't like the product, it's your fault.
Absolutely. So it's my job to make sure they've got the right product. So if they don't like it, it's my fault.
Okay. So there's normally a bit of tension there, isn't there? You know, the customers are saying you want this, and then it comes back to the factory. Oh, we need to make this, and that's good.
It can be. It can be.
We'll see how that plays out today.
Yeah.
But we have made another video out that'll tell you a little bit more about Marshall Tufflex. Obviously, a fascinating company. 80 years old now as well. That's a great heritage. Still manufactured in Britain.
Yep, down in Hastings.
And still family owned.
Still family owned, yeah.
Which I think is, which is fantastic. You know. So, who should we go first? Let's have a look. Martin, we'll go you first. You're let the non-electrician go first, like Bullseye it used to be back in the day. We'll go non-electrician first. Let's see how you got on with the Electricians Challenge.
I'm not very generous with my compliments, Gordon, of you, but I've got to give you it. The non-dart player going first. Great line from Jim Bowen and darts.
Bullseye, but anyone remembers a show from a while ago, you may think you've joined late. We've just tuned into Coronation Street from the 90s, and Reg Holdsworth is actually taking on the challenge.
Well, I was only very young in the early 90s, so Reg Holdsworth, was he something to do with the supermarket?
I think he did. He was the supermarket manager of Better Buys.
Okay, and he was one for the ladies, I think, wasn't he? Maybe we can say the same about Martin, a little bit smooth around the opposite sex.
Well, he's moved on from plastic carrier bags to plastic containment, but let's see how he gets on in this metal containment, which could be unfamiliar territory for him, but he's going in with a twist, so we haven't got any tape involved here.
Okay. Now, he was a great listener, I must admit. Obviously, he is the non-electrician going first, and obviously he's got to follow the steps that I've given him, and he did.
Oh, well, that's good. It's always good people follow your advice, Gary. Sometimes that works out. Oh, yeah, seems to have worked out there. And
so, pulling it out, we're going to go around Lasico Bend, slow and steady. Yeah,
just looking at his head there, obviously Marshall Tufflex are from Dover, and his head sort of reminds me there of when the tide goes out, you know, and the sand is exposed and there's a bit of glisten from the wet sand.
Well, you've got the silver locks on your head, so you should appreciate Martin's hair and its colouring, and you don't call it silver though, do you?
It's not the platinum mine, but it's not the, I think it's the receding bit I was on about there, Gary. It's like the beach when the tide's gone out. But, You see it there? You can't take your eyes off it now. Right. Meanwhile, back on the Electricians challenge, he's putting the
Reg Holdsworth in there.
CPC
Look at that. It's almost uncanny likeness. Unfortunately, many of the viewers will have to Google the image, won't they, of that Reg Holdsworth, unless I just bring one in.
Well, yeah, we might have to do that. But he's actually making a commendable effort in between our mirth about who he does or doesn't look like.
One more connection and the consumer is finished. This is going to be a reasonable time. And again, going back to the darts, going back to bullseye, if you're non-dart players, step forward, got yourself a hefty 45, you're coming up knowing you only need 320s and you're taking home maybe a speedboat you didn't need.
Yeah, or a mini metro or something like that. So, and right, so he's in with the automatic wire strippers. He's cut his fly lead off.
They're absolute gem, aren't they? For the non-electrician to be using those, we stole them off Wago, and everyone's used them ever since.
Yeah, I think Martin has hoodwinked us a bit. I think he does a bit of DIY at the weekend here. He seems a bit adept at using a screwdriver.
Okay, so yeah, like you said, we're very few connections away from completing now. Look at this; they're so easy, aren't they? They do it for you.
Yeah, you have to take them away. That's,
make it a little bit more
bring back my blunt ones.
Okay, so CPC connections, line and neutral, cover screws on, and we're done.
Look at that, it's nifty screwdriver work there.
Yeah, he's rolling that around rather quickly, and we've gone back to me editing these, so this isn't Junior's speeded up version.
It's real screwdriver speed.
Yeah, so here we go, make those connections. Yeah, look at that, even from the side profile there, you could just see him walking down the aisle of a supermarket, couldn't you?
I think after this he's going to have a wide array of glasses to go in there, just to play on the back of that, really.
Yeah, wasn't it colourful shirts and colourful glasses that old Reg was known for?
That was it.
Okay, there we go. So,
right,
joking aside, we're nearly there. This is a decent time. It's going to give something to aim for, because we're coming in with the electrician for the second run. So we'll see.
Yeah, this is good.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's getting that back in. Screws are in the right place. This is where it sometimes just goes a little bit wrong. Not shaking or anything. It's as steady as a rock. This one here.
This is good. Maybe we're looking further up the table than we expect for this one.
Yeah.
Well done, Martin, or is it Reg Holdsworth? Time will tell. Well done, Reg.
So Martin, as a non-electrician, that looked pretty good. You were setting your expectations low when you came in, but that we'll get round to the times a bit later on. But that looked pretty good.
Yeah, no, I was quite happy with it. I fluffed the first one and the last one, but yeah, I'm happy with it.
You're happy with it? Well, we'll see. Well,
okay, we're back live. That was, I mean, we were a little naughty there, I would suggest, and it continues on in the second one when Barry takes on it, but similarities were uncanny, weren't it?
Fast time for a non-electrician.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Faster than you, Krish. I think when you did that, we'll not bring up that, but we will now. I've strayed in there.
But we don't need to go there because we haven't revealed that time, have we? Because it's revealed in the next one, wasn't it? So times are in and locked and loaded.
Krish's is safe territory, though.
Well, he's under Rick.
He's below Rick.
Rick done him, didn't he? When he came in, he was saying, I've met someone finding it slower than me. Yeah. Slower than me. Slower than Rick. That's, hashtag slower than Rick. There aren't many people on planet Earth that are slower than Rick, but Rick's... he's over there. Slow Rick, we call him.
We don't mind.
Rough Rick, slow Rick. Okay.
How do you find that urn brew? Notice you had to pop off. Was it that quick?
It's
therapeutic properties. Yeah. Will it turn your hair ginger? That's what we're worried, because there's a lot of people in Scotland have red sort of coloured hair. You've been up to Scotland yet? You had the pleasure?
Inverness, and
that's a long way up.
It was 2015, so it's been
2015. Well, it's not that long ago. Well,
7 years ago.
Well, Gary still dreams of his trip to Middlesbrough. You've never been to Scotland, have you, Gary?
No, and I was meant to be going up to film some stuff for, for Phillips.
Yeah.
You went without me again, didn't you?
Yeah. So we had a great time with Colin Mulvaney.
And let's make sure we go back to eFIXX, and that'll be a story that we'll do later on in the show as well, if we remember. If we don't, and you want to know the eFIXX story, please.
You were out getting wood.
I was. Me and Joe both had wood.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was good. Now, we saw the race all there with Martin, a non-electrician, as we now like to call it, the non-dart player going first, but now it's the non-electrician. So non-dart player went first. And obviously he was down there at the BG socket, and that brings us to the sneak peek, doesn't it? Where we've got another BG socket here. So if I stand up, you can do a little bit of revealing for me.
There we go. So this looks like the usual BG socket, the outdoor socket, and they get a lot of credibility for their outdoor sockets, BG. They all seem quite popular when people mention them. Put your thoughts in the comments. This one's got one major change. I'll leap straight in there, and you're going for these smart elements here.
No, I didn't.
It's not those. You went for those, didn't you? So,
I did, yeah.
And it's the fixings. And that's it. So the quarter-turn fixings. Yeah, and it's not an on-off switch from the 0 and the 1. It's an open or closed. a bit like you'd get on a whisker box, really, isn't it, to put the lid on?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I'd love to have said, I've done a review on these. I had a choice of fitting two. So we had the smart socket outlet that we still own, and we had the standard non-smart one, which I obviously fitted. And I went through the process of fitting that and concentrated on maintaining its IP rating, because we'll take an enclosure, electrical enclosure that's got an IP rating and got these wonderful clips as well that go on, and obviously we can unclip. If you want to do those, you can do them, Gordon. But obviously there's a seal here that's really important. We've got the lid that closes down. We've got the seal here where a flex is. In order to maintain that IP rating, do you want to clip it down? So there's two places to press the clip. There you go, that clips. And that's a beautiful action in order to clip it into position to maintain its IP rating. However, I've either got to drill a hole in the back, the top, or the sides in order to bring my cable in. And the minute you drill a hole into an enclosure, Gordon, what's happened to its IP rating?
Well, yeah, you've destroyed it.
Okay, you haven't destroyed it. You've then got to follow the manufacturer's instructions, and they've come up with some clever things on the back here in order to maintain that IP rating. And I follow that through in my video that will be released very shortly on this socket outlet. And I've got a lot of time for it, I have got a lot of time for it. Can we go to main cam now, please? Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, I mean, when I see online, I see on internet, people rate that. I know, don't know, they do rate that socket outlet, and I did. And I was desperate to say in the video that is incredible value for money. But as we'd never said it in a video before, we said it in this one, you say, we said it in live stream, but I mean, a proper product review video, I was going to put it on a piece of card and lay the socket onto it, so I didn't say it, and it just pointed to it. I think an incredible bit of kit, well engineered for what that was paid for. Yeah, it's a great bit of kit. But I didn't choose I did surprise you, didn't I? I didn't choose the smart one.
No, well, yeah. No, I didn't.
Yeah, I won't go anywhere near that smart socket. So hopefully that review will be out within a fortnight, we hope, on that one. But again, thoughts in the comments are pretty much like that. Yeah, and I've fitted one of those, and it was a doddle to fit as well.
I think you've learned a few things during that process.
No, I didn't learn anything. No, the other socket was put on by a different electrician. Yeah, when you watch that one, I take
asking for a friend.
Yeah, asking for a friend.
What's this for on the back? Asking for a friend.
Yeah, ask the person who fitted the original. So there was a BG socket on the wall, which was taken off, and you can compare and contrast the two, as well as how it was fitted the second time round, because it looked like the second time round the person who fitted actually read the instructions. Whoever fitted that the first time was a bit of a chancer.
Yeah, well, we don't read the instructions first until we've made a mistake. Oh, I wish I'd read the instructions.
I didn't record myself doing the first one. That's probably why I didn't read the instructions. I went with a bit of I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah,
and I didn't. So, yeah. How to fit a socket badly, I would suggest on that. So really good, BG Storm it is. I think it's Storm weatherproof socket outlet. IP66, if I remember rightly from my video, so IP66. Yeah, okay, all good stuff. Two of those.
If you hadn't pinched that one and put it somewhere, I would have had that actually.
Well, you can use that as a non-smart socket.
Can you?
Yes.
Right. What's the default to though?
Well, your problem when you fit it.
Yeah.
Is that for the mother-in-law?
No, your
mum.
default on or off
Your
smart
mum,
sockets. He's not listening, is he?
Not listening, are they?
Yeah. So
is that for your mum?
With a mixer.
She's got the doorbell you never fitted,
I haven't got the doorbell, but I've been up and sorted the garden out.
Okay. Well, if you bother doing that, we'll come back to that. I think that's another story to come back to. And your brother a gardener, and you're sorting out a garden. Perhaps we'll come back to that one as well. So that's brought us in. We're going to do another race in a minute. So what does that mean, Gordon?
Well, it means people have to fire in another time.
So, and we find that in the GT, don't we, the Gordon time. So if that comes up on the screen, look, it has like magic, hasn't it? Like magic,
seamless. Have we got any comments first? Give us a few more comments first.
Let's have a look at some comments, see if we can bring some of those in. Rough Rick's over there in the corner. Yep. Well, the old bloke with the coat on as well.
Getting there.
Any time.
Oh, from Russia.
Oh, Russia.
Well, there we go.
Oh, with love. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, Russia. So perhaps we haven't had a Russian guest. We've got an Indian guest. We'd love a Russian guest. Next time you're over here doing a course that we're providing, please come up and see us. Colourful shirts. Oh, Martin.
Right.
Yes.
He's leaning into the red shawls with...
Martin, if I worked with you and I'd watched it and you were coming into work tomorrow, I would have got there early. I would have photocopied as many pictures of Mr. Holdsworth as I could, and I'd have had them all over the place. On the top of your desk, it would have said Best Buys or Better Buys?
Better Buys.
Better Buys, was it? I don't know. I never watched it, so it's not my kind of thing. But great fun, and he should stay tuned because obviously the next one to get absolutely roasted is his work partner, and that is Barry.
Yeah, and a shout out to the person who tucked him up, Technical Terry.
With the Tufflex style and the tattoos.
And the tattoos.
Yeah.
Who was supposed to be the technical person down there who should have been able to to smash it out the park, and he sent the non-electrician.
Yeah, he tucked everyone up, I think, Terry, didn't he? Tuck up Terry, they called him at work.
Yeah, Tuck Up Terry, and well, hopefully you'll get to meet Tuck Up Terry, because we're going on a little tour of the factory in November.
I've only seen part of Tuck Up Terry, and his arm was covered in like a string of big tattoos, because it was a big arm. I don't think I'll be leading into his Tufflex style terrier that tucked up his teammates, will I, when we get to that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's this? Gary and Joe both had wood. That's worrying. Yes, it was worrying. Yes.
Apparently, there's some footage of Joe has a little on the tools moment.
Yeah, he does.
Say.
Yeah, we're still trying to retrieve that. Would have appeared in this live stream, but Joe's been reluctant. But I will do a blow-for-blow account of it later on in the video. Okay, this is what we can do. Have we had any times come in, team? Yeah. Times are coming in for this.
Yeah, so next up is Barry. So we're going to be we're guessing Barry's time, who is
an electrician.
Is an electrician.
Yeah.
A seasoned electrician would suggest. He's been in his career for a while.
Yeah.
And so what time did he do it in?
So we've had non-dart player, or as we like to call him now, the non-electrician went first, followed by the electrician. So Barry's up next. Let's see how we roasted Barry then.
Well, we'll see. Well, just to compare and contrast, we'll see how Barry got on.
It was suggested off camera, so we'll suggest it on camera, that Barry has a little bit of a Phil Cool about him. And we know what Phil Cool was famous for. He was famous for pulling a few faces, and it'd be interesting to see if we can get some out of Barry during this race.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to have plenty of time looking at the style of this. It is off to a glacial start.
And I would like to say to everyone, this isn't the first time we've attempted to voice this over, and we're getting a little bit sleepy on about attempt number 7, aren't we?
Hopefully we can make it to the end this time, just to see what happens here. So, right, just get that screwdriver in there, Barry, and nice and slow.
And you know what they say, don't you? Slow and steady loses the race. That's got to be a saying, because I've never seen anyone go this slow, and I don't think our good friend Rocket Ross is going to be worrying about his time at the leaderboard, is he?
I think he'll be nearly finished by now. So
here we go, what we're looking for now.
Take it easy, but this could be a game of precision, Gary. Because sometimes people go fast and then make a mess of it, but looks like Barry just is relaxing into it. He's taking his time. He's being accurate. You know, here we go. Just there's always time for one more twist.
Okay, so he's got to try and get it up first time, maybe something that Barry's struggled with in recent years. So we'll see now if he can get it nice and straight in order that he can get it up.
And again, one more for good luck, Barry. Perhaps another straight.
Oh, yes. Here we go. But if he goes up first time, it will save you loads of time. So let's hope it's first time. Oh, look at that.
Well, we're yawning as well.
Try to stay awake here, Barry.
You set me off now. Oh, but we're through.
We're through. Yeah, so round Lasico Bend into the Luden Palazzoli consumer unit, and we're nearly finished.
Well, not round the bend yet, just take it nice and slow.
Oh, tongues out. Yeah, tongues out, a little bit of tongue action there. And into the board. I know we'll come back to that. We've all spotted it. We will. Oh, hello.
You're on it again.
Barry struck like you're in his own race. Well, it was spotted there, wasn't it? So of course we've got to say it. Obviously, looking at Barry's head, would suggest that if it was my lounge carpet, and it had that much traffic in one area, and obviously we're through, the threads have gone, my mum would turn around and say it's probably time to lob that carpet out, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. He's trying to mask it at the front there, but it's on the way out.
Hold on, could we have it? Please, Barry.
Oh, full Ramo.
Yes, okay.
I think he's overshot the board there a bit. That's a bit like a scene from Jack and the Beanstalk now.
Yeah, look at that. He's in there.
An intermediate. I think we need an intermediate step here.
Yeah, there we go. So I think it was needed. I think he struggled on a couple of attempts. So being that little bit higher,
limbo, that mouth's open again.
That is feel good. Now there is somebody else I'm thinking of who's in the West End at the minute. He's got another look of somebody else famous.
But a Paul Whitehouse, do you think?
That is Paul Whitehouse. Isn't he currently doing Only Fools and Horses? He's playing Grandad. And I had some inside information that Barry also auditioned for Grandad, was refused the role because he looked too old.
Well, you could have got the role, Gary. He's more your sort of age group.
Nobody believes that, do they, Gordon?
That's right, he's in. Right, so he's cut the wires nice and long, so we're going to be trimming them again soon, but let's just take the time here, Barry. Just
tiny bit of shake there.
This could be a tortoise and a hare situation, you know. How will Martin do? We don't know yet, but this just could, you know, we're lulling people into a false sense of security here that this could actually be fast.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody at home has fallen for that one, Gordon.
Automatic wire strippers.
Probably didn't have him back in his day. Do you think he was more installing rubber?
Yeah, rubber, lead sheathed or something. So it's right, here we go, into the socket. But accurate, it hasn't made any mistakes?
No, he hasn't made any mistakes. It was suggested in the interview that he was promoted out of trouble, I think your words were, yeah. Would you suggest that maybe they were thinking in his company bringing in price work, and they were worried if Barry stayed on the tools, he'd probably never eat a square meal again, would he?
Yeah, it could be it. Oh, the face again. This is probably some of the best facial expressions we've ever had.
Well, and you've got the Phil Call of the electrical industry, that's what we expect. So we're nearly there, though. We're 2 screws off.
Nearly there.
Time has flown by.
Oh, but that was skill there. See how he put that back there? You see he's done that before.
Yes.
Oh, speed it up there, but... Oh, and now we're slowing down. Bring that screwdriver in there.
But again, he hasn't dropped the screw. Screw's gone in the hole first time. Everything's gone precisely as you expect. So that will build some time into it, won't it? It'll be a bit quicker than you think here. Yeah. You know, he's not going to be in the Carl territory, is he?
No, nearly there. Oh, he's double checking. He's just giving it a go.
At last.
There we go. So Barry, we can see why you were promoted off the tools all those years ago.
Yeah, I think that's confirmed that today, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you're safe in sales, but you made a dramatic improvement from starting to where we ended up. We'll come on to the times. But how did you find the challenge? Both you've been back on the tools. What was it like?
Yeah, it was different. It was good. Enjoyed it actually, being there. So yeah, it was something I haven't done for a long time. So yeah, it was enjoyable as well as sort of stressful.
Stressful.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, stressful.
Well, just wiring a socket.
I know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, Barry will take a look. We're looking across at the leaderboard. Where do you want to be?
Well, I'd like to be in the middle.
In the middle?
In the middle,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've got my doubts.
Yeah, we'll have ambition. And Martin, where do you? I mean, you got any lofty ambitions? I mean, there's some other manufacturers on
I'd like to be above Barry.
Above Barry. Yeah. There we go. I like that. Yeah. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah. Well, Barry Roberts, you did this in. Let's have a look. Ooh, here's a one. It's a dead heat with John Roberts from 6 minutes and 6 seconds.
Yeah, not in the middle.
That's a good time. You're in some similar manufacturers. Then must point out they're not all electricians, so they're in there. And the dark horse, should we say? So this is Martin Russell. You did this in 4 minutes and 9 seconds. Fantastic, which is a great result.
Look at that. Well done.
Well, we enjoyed that. Watching it back again, I enjoyed it even more, actually.
That's the problem, is now people are going to see us, and it'll be a bit of a pause because we've just watched ourselves back, haven't we? Great fun, wasn't it? They were brilliant on the day, and that's not saying it. We had some great guests over the time. They were brilliant fun. They didn't want to come, did they? Yeah, we said that earlier. They were a little bit nervous, and obviously we've completely had them on the commentary there. So we've got Phil Cole, we've got Mr. Whitehouse, we've got your mate at the supermarket,
Reg Holdsworth.
Reg Holdsworth.
Yeah. How did you think the performance there, Chris? Having been a former contestant yourself.
Well, they beat me.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Barry
Rick beat you.
Yeah. Yeah. Barry can dine out on that one now, can he? I beat Krish. Yeah. Did Barry beat you as well? Did Barry beat you or not? Did you beat Barry?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did.
I'm not sure.
I think just about.
Everyone beats
just
you,
a smidge.
Barry looked really slow, didn't he?
Yeah.
We must go back one time and reanalyse that footage of Rick. Sort of perhaps just go back in and re-commentate on it, mustn't we?
Perhaps have a Christmas special, a revisited.
Yeah.
Just sort of go back through perhaps dig out some unearthed footage.
Yeah, of slow rough Rick.
Of everyone, really.
Yeah.
As Eddie's been busy in the comments, he wanted to hear more from Chris.
Yeah, and we're going to do that, aren't we?
Yeah.
So first of all, are we going to wait for the prizes, or do you want to do a bit more Chris first? Which way around would you like to do it, young man?
Well, I don't know. Eddie's delaying everybody getting the prizes now.
Okay, well, let's go to Chris then. Let's delay. So there's about 100 people on at a minute, so thank you. So if you want to play with Gary's Swap Shop, you've still got a chance. You've got to put the following saying in, put the heating on, and you play along Gary's Swap Shop. The times have obviously gone, and it's now back over to Chris. Now, at the moment, Chris, there are people in the UK getting a little bit nervous. We're worried about energy, and we're worried with the cold weather coming that we might find that there's not enough energy to go round. And it's not, I don't think it's a blackout then. I think a blackout is when the power supply goes off unexpectedly. I think when you schedule it, someone said to me that's a brownout. So, of course, you're told the times are going off.
No, brownout. A brownout is when it goes below the thresholds, frequency drops out, voltage falls and stuff like that.
Thank you for that.
It's a brownout.
Okay, so a scheduled...
Load shedding is the technical, basically. Or,
do you reckon they're going to say that in the news?
Planned power cut.
Planned power cut. So, obviously, that means that we might be in this country asked to have a time where we've got maybe less energy or no energy. Right, India. Do you have electricity 24/7 across the whole of your country?
Some places we don't.
Some places we don't.
Yes.
Okay, so where you live, do you have 24-hour electricity?
I'm fortunate. I live in Mumbai, and I do.
Okay, so fortunately, and it's everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Everyone has electricity there, right? Okay, so as I start spreading myself out, will there any cities maybe not? Have to name them. Just is there cities that couldn't?
Possibly with maybe once a week load shedding, but I'm not sure, to be honest.
Okay, but as we get more rural,
yeah, definitely. You have a load shedding maybe once a week, twice a week, maybe.
okay.
Yeah.
And this might be a popular misconception. I might have got this wrong. Generally, I think when I think of India, I think maybe it'll be a little bit warm. I imagine the sun beats down a lot. Have you thought of a thing called solar PV? Is that something that's high on the agenda?
It's up and coming. We have a lot of people that own houses outside of Mumbai, farmhouses, and they've got a solar PV array. Three-phase ones, actually. Recently, I've been to one where they had two three-phase inverters.
Okay. And let's say they don't consume all their energy.
Yes.
Are they allowed to put that back on the grid?
You absolutely are.
Okay.
But again, the grid has to be on for that. Because if you got space for a solar array, you're not likely to be in a city unless you're a big building, right? So if you're outside, you're dependent on the grid. And in some cases, it would be on, but you might be unlucky where the grid isn't supplying at that point in time.
Okay. All right, so you won't be feeling
People are doing it for energy security. Is that a big driver?
They're doing it. I wouldn't want to go out and make a statement, but I think there's also a bit of greenwashing going on, not with the government, but with people on their own wanting to say, "Oh, I've got solar PV panels on."
Okay, well, you say that, but some of the day doesn't have any sun, Gordon, and that's
called night.
Yeah, it is called the night time. So at what point have you secured your energy then? Have you got batteries there as well?
Yeah, battery is actually pretty common because another thing that I've seen is if your line voltage isn't stable enough, then you just probably switch to a diesel generator or a battery backup, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so you can have that in flats. Yeah, put the battery in the flat. Yeah, in the middle of a city, use a battery, charge it while the grid's on, and then use the battery.
Oh, right, okay,
obviously, battery's hugely expensive, and we're arguing about the cost of connectors earlier on, so I think there's a certain proportion of the community.
We actually have those ones the lead acid ones, I think, are pretty common. Don't
car batteries, we call them.
Yeah, similar to car batteries, yes.
Okay, so we've all thought of a certain type of battery. Maybe we need to jump back a generation on batteries. Okay, so I'm glad you clarified that one on the flat, because I was thinking there about solar panels. I was thinking, well, how are we getting that? So you're saying charge your batteries up in the day, try and secure your energy later on. And that's something that's commonplace. This is nothing new. People are living with this every day of the week in India, that they may or may not have a solid supply of electricity, and we're worrying about it for the first time since we've been at war, I would imagine.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. Yeah, is there a comment up?
I need to have an eFIXX staff Christmas challenge.
Okay, yeah, brilliant. Who said that?
Leah Winspear.
Okay, well, I've got a golden opportunity to go and play golf at in about a couple of weeks' time. So I thought this weekend, first time ever in 17 years, I'm going to have to go out and swing a golf club. I stopped when my wife fell pregnant with my son. Brilliant. This weekend, my back went, my neck went, I couldn't get off the floor and that, and I thought, how am I ever going to go round and play 18 holes of golf when I can't even stand up straight? So I'm fighting
Why
through
are you getting your excuse in early, Gary?
Oh, there's no excuse needed, is it? If you haven't done something for
your par?
17, yeah, I'm going to need to go off those.
It's a little bit below par.
Is it red tees for the ladies? I'm going to need to be on them ladies' tees. So I'm going to say I need 36 and some. I do not want to be in Steve's group either.
Right.
Just generally because I just don't want to be in his group, no other reason.
Right. Okay.
So just see whether he gets through to that part of the video then, can't we?
Yeah, right.
Right, little seeded that one down there. We'll see. We'll get some feedback. If you've got to that bit, Steve, make sure you leave me a message tomorrow.
We'll try and come up with something.
Yeah.
Christmas quiz.
I think we ought to do the one we've been meaning to do for a while with the money, where we have to go off and buy stuff. I think that should be out. But let's not say it in case we don't complete that. So, of course, electrician. So I'm thinking I'm going to be an electrician in India. I think it's a massively good career in the UK. So I've decided to be one in India. What sort of money will I earn, say, a day or a week or an hour or whatever you want to go with? What's the wages going to look like?
Well, some of them, £8 a day.
£8 an hour?
No, a day. So it's 8 hours, so it's the equivalent of £1 an hour.
Okay,
Can you put that into context? Let's pick another job. If I worked in a supermarket, what would I earn?
Probably a little more.
Sorry, I earn more in a supermarket?
You possibly would, because electricians are, well, I say electricians because They do more of a lash up than. I'm sure there are a few actual electricians that I know, but a lot of them just do lash ups. They probably don't even have any formal training, just learn by imitation sort of thing.
Okay, so if I'm learning by imitation, I'm being paid for lack of skill, not with skill.
You're being paid to get a load on. So like, just if you're able to install, let's say, a circuit with a light,
yep,
you're paid for that. It's not necessarily going in as an MFT testing ZE values, ZS values.
Part P, we'd call it, Gary.
Okay, so right now you put it into context. So okay, yeah, so you've done the 4-day course.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, so you're paid according to your skill level.
Yeah.
Okay, joking aside there, folks. So maybe it's the chicken and egg, isn't it? So if the pay's not very good and the standard of work isn't very very good, and we haven't got much electricity to go around, we just need to get some electricity. We may even, you've suggested as well off camera that people sometimes borrow electricity they haven't paid for.
I have seen a couple pictures, and this is actually a big problem for the electricity suppliers, because if someone's, let's say, built a shanty on a footpath,
yes,
right? How many people is the government going to evict? They can't evict them all. And then they've got, let's say, a pole, and then they tap off the pole,
right?
And they get the electric in to run maybe a small television or something, charge their phones.
Right. Okay. Hopefully not direct connection, because there won't be DC up there. Oh, right. Okay. So, wow. So
I actually read that there's about 30% of electricity in India is stolen.
I didn't use the word stolen.
Yeah.
Borrowed without paying for it.
The Theft Act, Gary, as we know it over
Okay.
here.
30%. Yeah, that's wow. And that means it's uncontrollable electricity. So if you're generating to a certain value, but then obviously some of it's been borrowed and not paid for, okay, so that sees where the generation has a problem there, doesn't it? You've got to compensate for what you think might be borrowed. Oh, that's true. Common form of production for electricity. So are we looking at fossil fuel power stations? Are we looking at?
It's a mix, I think. We've got some pretty good what's it called? The water comes in hydroelectric generators up in the north. So in that sense, we're doing pretty well. But it's just the average electrician that's not very good, doesn't even know about the existence of our wiring regs.
Okay.
And that's your mission, Krish, is it?
Well, it's to provide a more safe experience for people using electrics, which is pretty much everybody, isn't it?
Okay. So could you head something up there? Could you be the equivalent of, I don't know, someone like Electrical Safety First or something like that? Could you start sort of writing documents and advice and guidance and those type of things? I'm not suggesting you're going to turn into a CPS scheme, which is another way of extracting money out of electricians. Yeah, I didn't name them.
Some say.
No, I did. No, but you know what I mean? So you're looking to help.
We already have a bunch of good organizations doing good work, maybe not as powerful as Electrical Safety First here, but the issue is that there's only so many people you can reach, and the other issue is, let's just say that I'm promoting the use of Vago connectors, hypothetically, right? Yeah. How much does a Vago connector cost here? Just let's say a three-way for...
A box of them can be 15 to 25 quid, can't they?
Yeah, and then you get how many in a box? Whatever.
50 at the minute.
Yeah, it can be, yeah.
So it's...
Depends on the size.
So in
30 pence.
Yeah, so in India, let's say I buy a three-way, that's about 30 pence approximately.
Yep.
So let's say you got to put in 5 lights and you got to put in 3 light, that's 15,
Yep.
right? And 15 into 3, that's...
Go on.
Yeah,
Come on.
that's 45. And if it's assuming it's... Yeah, so that's a lot of money, isn't it?
Oh, no, well, how much?
Let's see. 15 connectors at 50 pence, at 30 pence each, that is 4.5 pounds.
Yeah, there we go.
Well done. Or in other words, half a day's work for an electrician.
You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe twist them together in a bit of tape, it still gets the light on and saves you £4.50. So how do you turn that around then? Now, what sends their electrical systems safer than they are now? Not suggesting they're going to. We're pretty safe in this country. I'd like to, joking aside, put my hand up. The NIC, NAPIT, and all the rest of them, they do a job to try and make sure that our electrical systems in this country are really safe. We certainly don't lose 10,000 people a year to deaths to do with electricity. So they must be doing something right. But how do you make those improvements, however small, putting a cover on and increasing the IP rating and having the right size fuse, or as you say, selectivity, What's the next step before the main step? So what would you do if you could implement the first thing? What would it be, Krish?
The first thing is getting your circuit protective devices and your wiring coordinated, right?
Right.
We have a lot of cases where electricians, let's say, they want to buy a 6-amp circuit breaker, right?
Yes.
But the guy at the store doesn't have a 6-amp for some reason that specific day.
Yes.
So he'd say, you know what, put a 16-amp, because the electrician doesn't understand that putting a higher amp circuit breaker is compromising the protection of the wire. They just see it as we're putting a more heavy-duty piece of equipment.
That's a good thing, isn't it? It's just like, buying floodlights, buy the biggest wattage one you can get.
Brighter room, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you change that? So how do you so is it a government level? Is it a national level?
I'd say it's more behavioral, because we have good wiring regs. We have a good department, what we call the Central Electricity Authority, and the Bureau of Indian Standards, putting out good standards, putting out amendments regularly. But it's the mindset of the end user and the electrician that has to change from let's get this light working to let's get this light working safely, and let's get working safely in a way that we can prove it's safe, which is what inspection and testing is about. So,
being cynical here, it's probably the more money you've got, the safer your wiring system maybe? Is that what you say? So if I went to an affluent area of Mumbai where the houses are large and maybe got more amenities than most, are they more likely to have a safer wiring system in them?
No, they'll have bigger circuit breakers.
It's more expensive. These are 100-amp ones on your lights. Yeah.
No, so that's the thing, because you'd see a local manufacturer, let's say, with someone who isn't so economically, doing so well. But if you go to a really affluent area, you might see a Schneider breaker in, but
it'll be a 100-amp Schneider breaker.
I can put money on the fact that it won't be coordinated with the wiring either.
Okay. Okay.
If I wanted to be a trained, other colleges, that's what I'm getting at here.
There are
a journey here. Again.
There are what we call industrial training institutes.
Yeah.
They do put out some good stuff, I believe. But again, I do believe a lot of people that are practicing electricians learn by watching an Indian Gary Hayes or an Indian Joe Robinson.
There we go. That's your fault.
Just got blamed for it. I'm only get dragged into that conversation. So there's somebody out there showing them how to tap off a line, is there, and things like that, or send a meter backwards. That's a video I've seen recently that somebody did. I had nothing to do.
I saw one where a guy made a water heater with 2 steel bolts.
Yes.
They were quite good, actually.
Clever, yeah.
It was clever. Lethal, but effective.
Yeah, worked, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them. There's different ways of doing that as well.
Yeah.
So
I'll show you the tips if you haven't seen it.
I come out this training academy, this institution, whatever it is. Surely I'm a level above everyone else if I had that sort of level of training. How long does it take to leave there with what they class as being qualified as, let me do it, Chris, you've done it a few times, electrician?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
Because in this country, they're making some of the courses now even 5 weeks long in order to be electricians. So
I have heard
they're
of
really
that.
Stretching them out where you go in.
All right, back in a minute.
So it takes us 4 years, doesn't it? Pretty much you can't skirt around it really. If you do a slightly different one, it's probably going to be 3 years. It's certainly going to be 10 minutes. Are we talking years?
I think it's a matter of weeks, but we have a pretty good framework in place. If you want an actual license to be an electrician, you have to shadow someone like an apprenticeship for a couple of years. But the point is, there's no awareness amongst consumers to actually ask for a license. Like here you have a JIB gold card, which is not a license, but it's some sort of a metric to, prove that this person is an approved electrician or an electrician, and a client might ask for it. I don't know if that happens here. But you certainly don't have clients asking, can I see your wireman's license?
Okay. That comes back to the CPS scheme that we said before. Obviously, people look for the NIC, NAPIT, Stroma, and all the rest of it on the side of vans and expect it because that gives us a little bit of security into the fact that even if it goes wrong, which hopefully it wouldn't, there's obviously somebody who will actually investigate and obviously support you, and that would be those people as your CPS scheme's coming through. So, yeah, it sounds like the problem is not one that you can solve necessarily, Krish. So what's Krish going to do in the next 5 years to improve whatever you're doing? What's your plan for yourself? You're over in this country, you think our qualifications are great, you're consuming as many as you can, you're meeting as many people as you can in the electrical industry, you're taking that all back to India.
Yes.
Does that mean you're setting up your own training centre? Or are you going to start mentoring electricians? You're going to start your own, I don't know, your own scheme or your own registration?
The short-term plan is to open a design. Well, I'm at the moment I'm also doing design, but the plan is I can't do everything myself, can I? So I have to get electricians and make them, without doing that, electricians, right?
Yeah.
So they've got to be able to put out a good quality of work, and they've got to execute a design. And maybe in the future I'll train people to actually do inspection and testing, but I don't know how that's going to work because they probably have to come here to learn and pass their 2391s.
Just watch Gary's videos.
No, just kicking Krish. Yeah, what a lovely help they are. They're great. And
They're great.
Thank you.
But
Whoa.
It's not.
Whoa. Oh.
They're great. But people have to actually understand what you're saying instead of just imitating.
I tell you.
It's imitation that's dangerous.
Fabric of the building. Yeah. Walls.
Have you seen that one? Did you see how I paused? I left it long enough. So in that video there, I paused. I said to the, I don't know if I said brick or something like that, but I paused because I could hear him, and it was just long enough to think fabric of the building. So yeah, okay. I would never recommend anyone learns from YouTube. I will say this, and this goes for any college learner. So if you want to go there, you supplement your learning with books.
That's what I was getting at.
Supplement your learning with additional video content that can help you deeply understand what you missed at college or reinforce. Somebody else says it in a different way. That's not necessarily me. Someone says it in a different way. It helps you. Fundamentally, you sit in your classroom, you listen to your lecturer, you take your notes, and you learn from them. And your additionality before and after. I'm a massive fan of pre-teach. If you know a subject's coming up, you should read about that subject first, because when someone introduces to you, I don't know, squirrel cage motor, inductive reactance, and all the rest of it, you think, well, I've never heard that before. You're not even in the conversation. If you've read something beforehand, you've at least familiarised yourself with words you weren't used to, and maybe you go, oh yeah, I read that, and that lags, or that leads, or that's an opposition to current flow, and you probably wouldn't have used those words before. So yeah, that's me digging myself out of a small hole. We've got a comment on the board. What's it saying?
Test your eyes from there.
Yeah. That's nice comment. Do you want to read it out? I suppose people can see it, though, can't they? That's me digging on. Anyone can see it. Comments on the board. So,
actually, Gary, what we thought there could be a solution to this, Krish.
Go ahead.
Yeah. What we need is an Indian college connections tour.
That could be interesting.
So with that in mind, I put a quick poll out on the community tab. What's the results, Joe? Should we send Gary to India?
They've done in the mic.
So the results, should we send Gary to India, is 97% yes, 3% no. So.
Well, there you go. It's a resounding success. Gary, you're off. Well, you might not have seen Scotland yet, but you're about to see Mumbai.
We got our mics back on. I see you turned everyone off. Are we back on?
Yours are on, yeah.
Oh, ours are on. Okay, good. So, yeah, okay, that's brilliant. Yeah, I'll go on now. I didn't get to Scotland, go to India. That'd be nice.
Find a college for Gary. We'll send him out there to do the return trip.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, love it. God. And you say it's based on the English wiring regulations anyhow, so it's not. And I could go back to red, yellow, blue in a heartbeat. Yeah. No problem with that at all, apart from I missed the black. There's a black one in there. Oh, yeah, the old black one was in there, wasn't it, as well? So,
well, no, Gary loves Indian food as well.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an absolute treat.
Yeah, I don't want to be there too long.
Oh, no. I think we'll even, I think we'll discuss it at our team meeting next week.
Yeah, normally I say to the college and the college connections, will I have an opportunity to sit down with your staff at dinner time? Really, what I'm saying is there, are you going to provide me with any food? So I've been to colleges, believe it or not, and I haven't got any grub. So I get there, I get to lunchtime, and they're like all disappeared off, and I'm like, right, okay. So I'm back at 1. Yeah, I've got nothing to eat here. So but when I come to India, I'll quite happily duck out of the food. I've got no problem at all. I'm actually looking for a long-term diet, so coming on yours would be ideal. So, I'm not a massive fan of the food.
I think the comedian who does the costume of a man, Mickey Flanagan.
Yeah, I think he'd had a lot of time into the bathroom, wasn't he, when he was a costume of a man? I don't think it was
it was like a radiator, an empty radiator.
So that's good. All right, so are we going to do...
wide-angle camera rig?
Yeah, we're going to do wide-angle. I think we're time for a few prizes, I think.
Should we send Gary to India? Should we have a quick team vote?
Okay, so let's see.
Hands up.
Hands up for yes.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
just 1 second. Just those with your hands up. Anyone who's taken on a level 3 electrical course next year have just lost all their help. Okay, well done. Yeah. So good luck. Yeah. Rick thinks he's getting mentored through it by me and Joe. He's just lost that opportunity.
Okay, there's a few prizes.
Yes, I think so.
We've got some stuff to come on because Trish has bought some Indian wiring accessories.
All right, we're going to have a bunch of look through.
And actually, I think They could be better than some of the ones over here.
Wow, we're going to go from the sublime to ridiculous. We've just seen some absolute junk.
Yeah.
Let's give some stuff away. Do you want to start with Gary's Swap Shop?
We can Gary Swap Shop. Oh, there we go.
Wow, two names I recognise. Even I know those
There we
names.
go. But will he still be on though? That's the one. Okay. Will he be around to find out? He sometimes dips in early and vanishes.
Ah, right.
The first one is Gifford's Electrical, Craig Gifford, otherwise known as the Secret Millionaire.
Okay, so that's great because I don't think, and somebody will tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think we've ever sent Craig anything. We love Craig to bits. We've pulled him out in
food poisoning before.
Yeah, twice, I think we sent him to hospital, didn't we?
Yeah,
but he's been up here, pulled his back, been to hospital. So Craig, in order that you win, you've got to send to Lineside Studios. The address is in the link in the description. Get involved tab.
Get involved tab.
Okay, you've got to send us an old time clock. That should be something easy. And if he doesn't want for social media one of these bads, okay, I don't know who. Yeah, he's got to want one of them. So okay, so he's one. Anyone else on there?
And the other one is Sean Dempsey.
Never heard of that name.
He's a regular commentator, Sean. I'll give it that. He's a thunderer in there. He's straight in there.
Dempsey. That sounds like somebody who would be a humble electrician. Yeah, and whose opinion?
He always shares his opinion.
He does. He's brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah.
So both of them won.
Both of them won.
Now, again, I'm not 100% certain Sean's still on the tools. Sean, if you're not, be
flask and a hat.
Yeah. You can compromise what you send in to us as well. So if you're struggling to find an old time clock, please compromise what you send in. Gifford, no compromise. You've got to send one in. You didn't get your hat, so that's all good. That's good. So two regulars in there. Yeah. So yeah, Craig and Sean.
Moving on to some times.
Right. Okay. The closest one
was I think Rick's going to bring them in here. Are you going to bring them in, Rick? Yeah. Let's have the first one in. Drum roll.
Yeah, come on, Rick.
We've never seen this work before.
Yeah.
Oh, the first one. So that was closest to Martin's time was Sparky 400T. So again, if we haven't got your address already, even if we have got your address, go in the details below, get involved and say you've won the GT time. 3 minutes 49. Well done. And for Barry's time, the electrician's time, closest, Cumberland 1234. Was that someone based in Cumbria? Is that a surname? So there we go. But anyway, 6 minutes is good. So it was close to the 609. Well done.
Okay, might be a fan of sausages. So so in order for any of those people, you need the address. If you're sending me something, it's in the link in the description, Get Involved tab. If you've won something, go to the Get Involved tab and say, I've won the GT time, and you leave your details and those two go out. And we sent people like Torpedoes one out, didn't we, James? Is it James? Yeah, went out today. So there they are over there talking. Yeah. Did you hear that? No, not a clue. Not a clue.
Yeah, the prizes went out today, and sorry for the ones that I've missed in the past. I'll try to get them out in the morning. So
he won't.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. So that's the prizes. I think this is more relaxed time now, isn't it? So I think we can have a bit of fun. Move the BG sockets out of the way so we can have a little squirrel around on here. I'm desperate to drink that iron brew.
Yeah, well, how are you getting on with the iron brew, Chris?
I think I've had enough.
I think you've had enough. Wow.
I was thirsty, so I kept sipping on it. But
Gary's looking forward to his thumbs up caller.
yeah, I am actually looking for that. Yeah, next time you come, bring us some of that.
So we've got a grid switch here, Gary, but we'll start with a back box here.
Grid switch, right? Okay.
This
looks like it's made of a solid material.
It's stainless steel, actually.
Stainless steel.
And it comes wrapped in plastic.
Let's not go there.
No, but stainless steel back box, I think, is a good idea. Because the ones that
happen here.
No, I don't know. I've never seen a stainless steel back box.
I think you can chop it in.
Yeah.
Wow, that's deep as well.
These are standard depth. I think it's 50 mil.
Right.
So standard 50 mil deep. Mm-hmm. Stainless steel. Why stainless steel? I obviously know why you use stainless steel, but why are you choosing stainless steel?
Well, let's just say the plasterers don't do such a good job, and there's a lot of stuff going in there when it shouldn't be.
Well, they're from England, then, are they?
Yeah, that's a universal problem. Yeah.
That's been trained into them worldwide, obviously. Okay, so and what size are those knockouts? I'm struggling to see.
These are 25s, yes.
Okay, so all your tube and flexi stuff's 25, is it?
No, but that's for some reason the most common. I'm not actually sure why.
You could do both aspects then, again. But actually, stainless steel even here, I mean, the ones in my house, they seem to rot below the, if they get a bit damp, they go rusty. Rick's nodding as well. We think this is a great idea.
Oh, you got rusty back boxes?
Yeah.
Don't go there. They got in a lot of trouble. They did. They played games that you shouldn't play on there. Yeah. Would you or wouldn't you? Yeah. You went there, not me.
Yeah. It's a stainless steel.
Corroded back box.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, 3 or 4 grades. So not quite. It's not going to stand much by the sea, but it's. I think I might try that out. Actually, I think that's.
It's for you guys to
get the knockout.
They look like they're pop outs, not knockouts. Look, you've popped that one out already. Look, they're pop outs.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all good. Don't know what that was. That's Rick going outside.
Given this is actually meant to sit inside inside a wall, so
Yes.
it's not a surface box, just to clarify.
Oh, cheers, Krish.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Krish. Is it? So, 654 videos I've done. I own 2 silver play buttons, and I've just been told that goes in the wall.
No.
Cheers, Krish. Much appreciated. Meanwhile, what? Let me do. I'll do my usual. What have we got here then, Gordon? You're not telling me that fits on the front of that box, are you?
It does.
Yoke, Gary,
It's a
sometimes.
yoke,
people
is
call
it?
this.
No, it's grid mounting frame. Goes. Well, they're made for each other, Krish. Are you telling me that goes on the front?
I think you are a good guess at it. Yes, it does.
Guessing now, am I? Okay, so that
These are
goes
for
on
the
there.
CPCs.
Oh,
by
the
the way.
CPC's at the back, Gary, so you must have to use a crimp channel and just wrap the
No,
wire around.
no.
Sorry, Chris, you're going to have to explain what a CPC is. They're earths, aren't they?
Well, the term is CPCs for if they're in circuits that go out. Yes.
Are they?
Yes.
I've been calling them earths all these years.
Yes, goes at the green and yellow wire.
Yeah, okay,
You
good.
would need to crimp them on, you're right.
Okay, good. Yep, that's that. So joking aside, what have we got now? Is this the frame?
That's just a decorative piece that sits on top.
It's not bad, these actually. Is this a good? How much is that back box though? Let's just go on. It
It's
says on
about
the back
the
of the,
equivalent of, I'm going to guess, £3. Let's check.
let's check on here. It says on
Uh,
here, rupees.
403.
Yep.
So that's about £4, but there's some discount on it. So
All right. Oh, that's quite expensive.
it is an expensive
It's
bag.
like half a day's wage.
It's exactly like half a day's wage, isn't
We
it?
got some at the wholesaler. Yeah. What did we get? Single or double gang the other week? We got some. We got like you got 10 for that. I think we're going to be exporting that.
Come on, it's like Christmas. Crack on opening something else.
Oh, yeah, sorry there, Gary.
too
Getting
slow,
distracted on the price of Indian wire accessories. So here we go. Here's a favourite. Let's have a look.
What have we got now? Tell me what it is, Chris, 'cause I won't know.
What's that, Gary?
Not a clue. Never seen it before in my life. Is that a light switch? I'm guessing now it's a plug. Or is it a socket? Oh, no, it's a plug. No, I'll go plug.
Combination, actually.
So, yeah.
Joe always says that, doesn't he? I have an argument and they tell me I'm...
See the
So look at the connections on the back. Keep it still. My eyes aren't clear. Oh, it says line.
it does.
It says line.
It does.
It says line. It says line.
These are not bad,
The
actually.
line connection.
Yes.
So people in India won't say live.
No, that's an American thing, isn't it?
No, it's hot in America.
Yeah, it's the
Yes,
hot
it is.
wire.
It is hot. Yes.
People don't... So they don't call it the live conductor.
No.
Why did they not call it the live conductor?
I don't know.
Because it's the line conductor. Yeah, CPC. Right, okay, next one.
I'm struggling with the different heights here, Chris.
Yeah, this is a special one because it's
Don't fit.
it's a larger capacity.
What do you mean by larger capacity?
Well, this is a 16 amp and this is a 6 amp.
Okay, just turn it around.
So these are
Oh.
basically yes.
That's got a whiff of a universal socket about it.
It does. It's technically a multi-socket, but it's not as bad as the universal ones.
You see, look now, I know how to bust those lines together now. Those
Yes.
lines together now.
What's
Sorry. That's the through. That's where you thread your wire through and take it through to the next switch.
Ah, right, that we saw
Yeah.
trying to be demonstrated
Little
before.
innovation, that.
I don't know if it's my eyes or it's blurry. Okay, it's probably my... And that's a switch, yeah? So that brings you common through, yeah?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, okay, I like that
Just a
one.
couple
Do they
more
call it a common?
switches.
Couple more switches. That's good. We'll put them in there.
That looks expensive to me. So what's the whole set going to cost me?
I'm gonna have to check the invoice, but I'm guessing somewhere around £15.
No, that's a lot. That's a lot for your money, isn't it? Is there there is a decorative bezel as well. Look at that. That looks like metal, but it isn't, is it? That's
No,
plastic.
it's plastic.
Just as well. The least exposed metal you've got, the better.
Those are just blanks.
Oh, that's good.
So the
I'm
interesting.
getting there on this, Chris. These are blanks, Gary.
What are they?
Blanks.
What are they used for?
Filling holes. Yeah.
Right. So they don't do anything.
Yeah.
Well, they prevent you from touching live parts.
This is actually quite good. This has a feel of a whiff of Bakelite to it.
Oh right, we all liked a bit of Bakelite. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, they're actually
They're
well
chunky.
made.
Look how chunky those terminals are. And so this is that 16 amps and that is 6. They're still big, aren't they? Yeah. Gone full on with the copper. I like it. I'm sitting down now. Oh.
There we go. Fire in. Any questions for Krish? Any comments coming in there, Rick? Have we?
So the only concern is, let's take the joking aside, I'm going to have these at light switch height with their sockets. Or I'm going to have it at socket heights and the light switches. Or do we compromise and go halfway between the two?
I think you can select this, Gary.
Yes.
It could be a light switch. or it could be a socket.
That's a lot of sockets in one
Well,
area.
this is an 8 module one, but you can get as little as one,
Yeah.
a single module. A lot of mixing and matching.
It's been a difficult couple of minutes for me. This is okay. Yeah, okay. So we've used it. So you'd have several sockets in a row, or many switches in a row.
Whatever you like.
Okay. So this is not like, you're not going to tell me it's a fancy beside the bed thing. It's got a whiff of a hotel about it, as I would say.
Yeah, I think so.
I've got these on my bed, yes. And I've got USBs on them as well. The interesting thing is, though,
Better be interesting.
on your sockets,
Yep.
your USBs are unswitched, aren't they?
Yes.
You can get a switched one with this.
Oh,
Well,
that'll
what's
keep
interesting?
people in the
Well,
house.
that's interesting because I know a lot of people complain about not having switched
Why?
USBs. I don't know. Maybe because of the
Installation
electronics.
resistance testing.
Yeah, obviously, but obviously,
Done a video on that
obviously.
channel.
But from a user's point of view,
Okay. So, I don't know whether I want to turn my USBs off. Can you imagine plugging in and forgetting to turn it on, then you come back half an hour later and your phone ain't charged? There's nothing more frustrating than that, is there really?
We're going to remember to switch them off. I'm just checking the shutter on the front.
Oh, right, for the new video coming up, Indian sockets are lethal.
I did well that video actually.
Yeah, so,
And I did, just to follow up with that, I wrote to the Mauritian Hotel Board and the hotel in question. Yeah.
and?
They've ignored it.
Well, yeah. How can you answer it? Yeah. What, with the video link and everything?
Yeah.
Please check out this following link where we say your sockets are.
Yeah.
So again, if you haven't checked that one out, obviously not now because you want to stay on for the live stream for all the fun and banter and how many times Krish actually undoes the relationship that we never had in the remainder of this show.
You'll rebuild it on your Indian trip, Gary.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Does Mrs. Hayes want to go to India, or should Gary
She
alone?
does. She doesn't want to go with me, probably. No, I don't eat a lot. Oh, it'll be a nightmare, absolute nightmare. So we'd like to thank Sockets, as always. He's give us another super chat, is it, in the live stream? Super thanks on normal videos. He's the man behind the sockets in your pockets and your splates on your plates, which are all of these things here. We thank and love Richard Brook to bits. He's massive on Instagram, so if you want to follow him, he's Sockets. And, of course, today going out as part of our giveaways, and that's for Craig and for Sean. They've won the Sockets hats, so it'd be nice to see if, especially Craig, can get that on social media as well. One of the nicest people we've ever met in the electrical industry as well. What, you lost a screw already?
Yeah, just put the screws in.
should be two
No, I've
screws
got
for
them.
the
I've got them.
sides as well.
Oh, they're in there. I can see them.
No,
Are they
there should be-
3.5 machine screws in there, or are they 4 mil?
Hang on, there should be another 2 because those aren't big enough to go through the plate.
Ah, right, okay.
There they are there.
Right, they do the old, are they 3.5s? Or are they like 4s?
No,
4s?
3.5.
They're 3.5, so same as us. Yeah, we
Yeah.
think they're 3.5s, do we? Look at that.
We're in there.
Fancy,
I think
isn't
that's good. I like that.
You like that, do you? Yeah. Okay. Are you thinking of a video for that socket?
Well, I think it'll be important these soon.
Okay, no worries. Okay, I'm out of there.
You're CE marked also.
Okay.
There's lots of stuff get CE marks, you wouldn't believe it.
The good brands, yes.
Yeah. No. Just people just make it up.
Don't you see you mark your own stuff?
It's CE marks actually, yeah, self-certified.
I did hear that.
Doesn't have to actually go to a lab, so it's kind of, yeah. I've been to China and seen a whole factory with a CE mark on it, like on the side of the factory.
Right.
Yeah.
See you mark the factory?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're CE marked, which is just like, yeah.
Okay, that's a little bit...
I'd heard the CE marking was China export.
Allegedly, yeah. Some people used to say it was slightly spaced differently. That's what they said. Yeah.
Gonna be one of them, reckon it? That's good. So yeah, let's go for some stories then. Let's talk about eFIXX. So we'll come back if we want to, but we had eFIXX. Me and Joe went to Birmingham area, went to the Midlands to a Staircraft, didn't we, to see the building of what's that now?
Indian special.
Yeah, oh yeah, GT special from India. Oh dear, we ain't got the budget for that yet, have we? That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
No, you're going though, Gary. Yeah.
We are going to try, aren't we? We're going to try and do a live stream. I'm doing one from a college, so there's the first one. We're going to try and do some from manufacturers, aren't we? I'd really like to do one from Doncaster Cables. I think there's a run around there. Or
well, in a few weeks we're at...
Are we saying that, are we?
Yeah, Lasico, yeah. We're there with some of our 30 under 30 winners, which will be announced in the next year's 30 under winners entrance process.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, the eFIXX Awards will be open in October.
Yeah.
And we give an award away to 30 people. So 30
Aged under
chances.
30.
Yeah, under 30.
Yeah.
Up to a certain date, though, isn't it? There is a date cut off for the 30. And we have those winners, and they've got a party. Chris, oh, that's nice. How nice, Pegasus Electrical. He's a nice bloke. So, of course, those 30 winners, we're going to get as many of them as we can into a room with a free bar. That sounds odd, messy.
Sounds dangerous.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going down Birmingham somewhere, wasn't
We
it?
are.
Yeah, we're out and about. But anyway, we could be...
We're not karting, are we?
yeah.
We go karting.
Yeah.
Again, that's not good for people with bad backs, is it? Because it vibrates a lot, and it's unbelievable.
You were quick to dash for the golf.
Oh, I'm even if I walk round and only hit several balls, I'm teeing off on the first.
Yeah.
I'm teeing off on the 10th. I'm knocking one onto the 10th, even if I had to walk down and put it there to knock it over to the 10th. Severiano Ballesteros, I was in love with golf anyhow, especially in those eras. And the Ryder Cup, when we started winning it, and you had Ollie and Sevi playing together and things like that, and some of the things that he done going around the Belfry were just sensational. Not long watched on the Discovery Channel, not a Discovery Channel, the Biography Channel, whatever it is on Sky.
Biography Channel.
Yeah, I watch a lot of biographies.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I mean, it was hard, I went all the way back and all the way through to his obviously demise and that. No, brilliant. So going away from that. So we're at eFIXX. We're down there. We're looking at these eye joists and seeing how quicker it was to install the flooring system from Staircraft. So we had a standard floor. You had to cut all your boards to suit. We had one that was already there. We saw about the amount of waste that went. What about a 60 under 60? Eddie, you still can't enter, can you? So that's cans. Is it 60 cans in under 60 minutes? The 60 under 60. Love it, yeah. 60 cans in 60 seconds. So we're down there at Staircraft. We're seeing the floor. Unbelievably, it was fitted, I think, 2 or 3 times quicker. And they had the waste pile, and it was like a handful of crumbs, like on the one from Staircraft. The other one was just piled up with wood waste. And off camera, the bloke went, that floor with all the waste is the best one we've ever fitted for the size it was. There was hardly any cuts, and there was loads of waste compared to the Staircraft one that had, it was designed to fit, which was really good. But Joe tumbled. We've got him on camera. We've got a big camera over the top. He's he's turning to me to give me some stick about my age.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as I look up, sometimes somebody comes and helps you from afar, don't they? They send from cloudy skies a gift, an absolute gift. He stood on a joist, little cross member, wasn't part of the fabric of the building. It gave way. He went down, got one leg down. He tried to save his camera. He took a whack in the ribs. He scratched all the skin off the side of his arm here, went down, got up, apologised twice for breaking the wood. But in my heart, he broke my heart by mentioning my age, and sometimes life has a funny way of almost breaking your ribs. Yeah. It was hilarious. Yeah. And if we could only get that footage, he's not up. So if it had been me, I would have had it on Instagram within, 10 minutes, a minute, I could have recovered. Yeah. Still struggling, he is. Still struggling. It was funny. Was funny. And the bloke we were with, who had a South African accent, which is not a problem, Joe kept doing an impression of him for the rest of the day, because every time Joe moved, he kept shouting, "Noggins, no, joists, yes." So he did it in the voice, "Noggins, no, joists, yes." And the whole time, that's all we heard for the rest of the day. "Noggins, no, joists, yes." So he went down like an absolute tree fella. It was bang, over. Good fun.
Yeah.
It was good fun.
I remember that now.
Yeah. So, we've got another one.
Indian Boxers BS 4662, Krish. Come on.
Just about to say I know that's from without looking,
No idea, but just to clarify, we don't actually use BS standards. We derive from BS, or in the earlier days BS, but now IEC. So I'll have to check on that. I'm not sure, to be honest.
He's only thinking, is there a market? You can just see a larger socket.
He's already on it, yeah. You mentioned plasterers
were awful.
Burst them into action now.
He's thinking.
Is there? Yeah. Have you ever seen Dragon's Den over here?
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
It's basically, you've got an idea and you go on and pitch to a panel of investors.
Oh, right. I watched a couple episodes, like Shark Tank.
Shark Tank in America, they call it. Is there an Indian version?
There is an Indian Shark
Tank. What's that called?
Shark Tank India.
Well, there you go. That's what I like. That's originality in the name. Could have called it Dragon's Den, but they went for Shark Tank India. Okay. So we could get Richard on there, because he's been on the British one.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. He won. He won there. He got investment.
He didn't take it.
He didn't take it.
I think he went on to win.
Yeah.
Having met him, he is ultra competitive, and he was slow on the race wall when he let himself down big time on the race wall when he
faster than you though, and Rick.
Yeah.
Just put that in there.
So let's just say that again. He was faster than Rick. Well, it could be anyone that's on the planet apart from 4 people. So he went on there, and I think he went on there because he's ultra competitive, and I think he went on there because he thought he backed himself to win.
You see, stop the plaster going in. Yeah,
it works as well, doesn't it? I'll bring hand camera.
3-way goes, you see.
Show that.
But it's reusable.
Yeah.
you could fit these. So it doesn't quite seem to rig.
If you put it in between the screws, I'm sure they can come up with a size.
Yeah, might need a single as well.
Have we got a single?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right, front it around. I'll try to do 2 things at once.
Nearly. Oh.
And a blank.
No, they don't follow BS. I think we've concluded they don't follow the BS because we've got a gap.
Okay.
Yeah. However, when you're in India, you ever go out in a restaurant and you've got a wobbly table? Yeah, you know, sometimes the table gets a bit, you need to put something under the leg. You use one of them.
Brilliant. GCSEs, my son took these with him.
Yeah.
He had a calculator and 3 splates.
Yeah.
So he went with, because you know when you get there, it's like that, innit, at the table. He said, the only thing I used in my maths exam was the 3 splates. He said, never touched the calculator. Didn't need it.
Was that the 3 splates method?
Yeah, it was the 3 splates method. Love it.
Come on, thank you.
You keep saying them, I'll keep buying them in the back of the bed.
We took a recent visit up to Scotland.
Did you?
And the bed was on the wonk. I said, if only we'd had some of them splates, we'd have been able to sort that.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant package.
We had the debate in Scotland as well. It was the one there. We've got that new laser level you've been trying out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, brilliant.
Put it on the wall and the bed was on the slope.
Right.
Yeah. So there was the debate. Do you put the wall lights level?
Yeah.
Or do you follow the bed?
We had exactly the same problem one time we were doing a house and we put mini trunking up on the wall, whatever it was. It was, I don't know, we're doing storages or something. And it come down, it looked terrible. And then, so I was like, wow, that's awful, when we put the furniture back. But of course, when we put the spirit level on the wardrobe was out and it made it, so what did you do then? You think, well, the trunking's going to probably last longer than the wardrobe, but it looked terrible. You walked in that room, you're like, oh, we put that trunking up, but it wasn't, it was the other thing throwing your eye out, similar sort of thing. I can't tell some of the stories from those, they're more an adult version. They have to be on the live one when you come and see me live.
I'm sure Richard would be delighted to get into, oh, look, I'll get passports ready for the, oh, there you go, there's Mrs. Hayes chipping in here. I'll get the passports ready for the India trip, a big improvement to Middlesbrough and California clips. There you go, you're off.
We're back to California. I got my next door neighbour for it weren't you, Rick? I thought it was you. Got my next door neighbour for the second time. I was out there. I hardly ever speak to him, the nice one. And he said to me, "You got any more holidays this year? You going away at Christmas?" So I'm going away before, and so I'm off to California. And he fell for it again. I mean, wow! I'd already done it last year with him. Yeah. So off to California, which should be good. So. As we're circling around, there were some other stories we were going to say. What other stories were we going to go for? There were some other bits. I don't want to miss anything because we promised stories. We've done the one about eFIXX. Was there anything else we promised?
No. We had a good time up in Scotland with Colin last week.
And why was Colin so important to us? What did
he was a 30 under 30 winner.
He was.
He's, again, we like electricians who specialise. He does loads of work in new builds, putting lighting in, just putting the things in that the builder didn't put in.
Oh right, okay,
sockets and lights. Yeah, things like that. Great. We had it was good fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, what a good do, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're telling me the 30 under 30 and all the award categories, because there's more this year, isn't there? We've increased it. Yeah. We're giving an early sneak. Will come out early October at our launch show.
Yes.
Are we going live from the launch show as well?
We are going live from Lasico in Telford.
Okay. So, and that will be the launch for the 30 under 30 and all the other awards.
The night before we're there, so we won't.
And that links in nicely because on Monday I'm in Lincoln, which won College of the Year, didn't it?
Yeah.
So and it's good. And also update from Ian Clark, who won College Lecturer of the Year. Obviously, Ian's not been very well and he missed out on being on one of our live streams because he wasn't very well. The treatment he's had, according to the 2 conversations I had this week with him, have worked really well. Mm-hmm. He's also become a recent granddad as well, so he's got his little granddaughter, so that was good. And his battery car arrived as well, so he's had a nice little run, and he's been out in his battery car now. He weren't allowed to drive until very recently, so he is looking like he's fully on the mend. So hopefully Ian will join me at some point on one of those.
He thought things had turned, and he discovered he's on a loop supply, didn't he?
Yeah.
They're going to unloop him sometime in the next 2 years.
He's on it. He's got a Zappy charger. We've got one behind us. He's got a Zappy charger, solar battery next. So he reckons that'll be the next thing he'll have on imminently.
Yeah. So check the time, actually.
Wow. What is the time?
Yeah. It's 10 o'clock.
Oh dear.
Nearly 10 o'clock.
Chris got
you know, they were saying earlier we should get some stools because Rick and Joe are going to have to stand up
for an hour.
2 hours.
Yeah. That was 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not exiting words. They're over there standing up. They want to give us yeah. So that's good. And we thank you for joining us. Allegedly, we had a small issue at the start. We don't know what that is. I mean, we have spent a week in here, haven't we, trying to nail down the Wi-Fi and internet. Yeah, so it's beyond our thing. We've been pleasure to be joined by Krish again. Obviously came from India, second time visitor, first time we did the race wall, first person from India, fastest person from India, okay, to take on a race wall as well. So that was fantastic. And obviously we've had a little in-depth look at some of the wiring systems here. When are you going back, Krish?
Sunday.
Sunday. So did you need to look at your watch to see Sunday? It's just after you mugged me off earlier on, every opportunity I'm going to mug you off. What was that, Sunday?
What
time Sunday?
It's quite early, actually. 7 a.m., but I got to get to the airport obviously earlier.
And have you finished the course?
No, I get done on Friday.
And do you get your results, or you got to wait?
No, the exam's in December, right?
Okay, so
Oh, you'll be back.
I will be back in
You'll
December.
be back for the Christmas special.
I wouldn't be back. What time? When is the Christmas?
When are you back?
Well, we haven't decided yet,
Yeah, okay.
Oh, Christmas special. There you go. Gary goes to India, New York.
In the luggage. Okay, so so we're into you back. So is there an assignment to do as well?
There's a 40-hour project.
So you've got to take that with you as well?
Yes.
Oh, wow. You've got lots of free time when you're back at home, haven't you?
Well, I got time to do this.
Yeah, okay.
There we go.
That's good.
Quick thank the sponsors, Rick.
Oh, here we go. So let's thank, you're doing it. I'll do it this way then, so I'll try and remember where they are.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Luden Palazzoli, the
Yep.
fantastic people there. We had Giovanni on the race wall, and he was absolutely amazing. We had the good people from Wago, but we like to call it by its real name, Vargo, come down and take on our Electrician Challenge, which gave us Carl, that was the slowest person ever to take on the Electrician's Challenge. We used to have hashtag above Aaron, didn't we? Back in the day when we had the slowest person was Aaron, the works manager from Doncaster Cables, and we'd like to thank those as well. We'd also like to thank tonight's guests that were from Marshall Tufflex. We had the great Reg, what was his name? Reg
Martin.
No, it's going to be
Reg Holdsworth.
Reg Holdsworth, and we also had Phil Cool take on the Electrician's Challenge tonight as well, didn't we? We've got our newest sponsors. We haven't had any of those down, but we certainly have had My Energy turn up here because we've had the good Dr. Chris Horn also take on the Electrician's Challenge, and I just can't remember who's left.
He also has done the challenge as well.
Did he, Dr. Chris?
No. The other sponsor, someone.
I've left all of them out by one.
Yeah, Lasico. And that would be Ian Monkton. Who did
Well
the
done.
challenge.
You've looked at the list.
Yeah.
I've done mine not even looking at it yet, and I've named the people that have been into the room as well, and you've got it in front of you.
You've made yourself a story to remember who the sponsors are.
No, I haven't.
I like it. That's how they tell you to remember stuff, make up a story.
Yeah. I went to work and was bored to tears. Oh, that's how I remember Gordon. Yeah, okay. So that's good. So that was our
Well,
sponsors.
good point, though. We haven't had anyone from My Energy take on the challenge one.
No, and wouldn't it be nice if we could get Jordan down and we could get down...
Dr. Chris.
Well, would you get Dr. Chris or would you go for one above Dr. Chris?
Oh, the Sut dog, Lee.
Lee, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good idea.
Be nice
We'll throw that out there.
Yeah, maybe we could get. Yeah, I think Jordan will come.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Dr. Chris again. I've got a lot of time for Dr. Chris.
Yeah.
We ought to get Joe back down because he could never remember
Dr.
his
Chris
job
would be
title.
terrified, Gary, if he came here again.
Why is that?
Because the last time he was here, you blew up his test rig.
No, I didn't. I mean, what a lovely bloke. His test rig got a little bit warm, didn't it? We hadn't done anything to it. It blew up. And Howard didn't drop any bombs as I went, oh, it's gone bang. It was like, oh. Yeah, it was one of them. Hopefully you've remembered to leave your details for the two winners of the GT in order that we can send the prizes off. And what we got here? Oh, Sean Dempsey. Thank you very much, Chris. Have a safe journey. That's nice. And he's a winner of a prize. Time clock I need from you, young man. Send it to me. And we'll be sending out your hat and other bits and bats as well. So, Chris, thank you very much. So we're back for the December Christmas special, which is really good.
We'll put that one in.
So, yeah.
Gary's tour of India.
Yeah, we got that. For those people who managed to stay on to the very end, you must have noticed we slipped into the plug and socket, the thing that we like to be on more relaxed element. We're still working on trying to get our bar so we can have people, there's guests down here who can drink some beverages of their choice. Maybe the Iron Brew will come out for those people who want the softer versions of drinks when we do these live streams. We will also have a grand opening. And people have already asked to be in that grand opening. It's delicious, isn't it? You're the only one tonight to get a beverage. So
I know, I could smell it as well. I was actually quite,
so we're a little bit thirsty. So with that in mind, we'd like to thank you for joining us. We're back in 2 weeks. Do you agree?
Thank Rick and John for standing up for 2 hours.
All right, okay.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, they wanted me to go to India.
Yeah, I've got jackets on though.